New items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Hi, this is ESPN's Mike Greenberg, and ESPN Bet is ready to take you through all the biggest sports moments this spring. The official sports book of ESPN has exclusive offers and markets from Scott Van Pelt, Stephen A. Smith, and me. From the playoff intensity to finally getting out to the ballpark, there's no better time for sports fans. Sign up today, and new users get $100 in bonus bets for making any sportsbook bet. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play.
Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Canes fans, game on.
Let's go Canes!
Let's go Canes!
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Let's go Hurricanes!
Go Canes!
Let's go Canes! Gets it with a second try. Swim against it. They score! Rebound score. Seth Jarvis. What a save by Anderson.
Ride with us for every heart-stopping game. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Autobell Car Wash has been trusted for 55 years for high-quality service. We'll clean your car from the inside out. Now through June 2nd, buy 2 Super Poly Process Wash tickets at any Autobell for just $55.
People can tell when you Autobell.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Dallas Brule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You guys do so many things: windows, doors, siding, gutters, awnings, roofing.
Roofing is the most important part of your home. You want to make sure you keep the water out. Our roofing products, made by Certainty, the shingle roofing, it comes in a lot of different colors, a lot of different styles, but it has a 50-year, 5-star warranty on all material and labor, backed by the manufacturer. It's non-prorated.
I've never heard of a 50-year warranty. I always hear like 20 or 30.
Unless a tree hits the house or you have some storm damage, it'll be the last roof you ever put on your home.
I like that. What about metal roofing?
We do a lot of metal roofing. We got the standing seam, comes in a lot of different colors, and it'll last forever, but it doesn't have the 50-year warranty like the shingled roofing does.
Sounds like you're pushing shingle roofing, which you should probably.
It's affordable, and again, it's hard to beat because it's really the last roof you'll have to pay to put on your home.
Dallas Brule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs. we talked about before, it is tough to win 4 games in a row on someone, and especially when the games are even like they are. And it's not like it was 3-0 and we were dominating the games. It could have went either way in all 3, just like tonight could have easily went the other way. So we expected it to be a long series, and we got to focus on the next one.
This is the Adam Gold Show.
Hi, everyone. It's the Adam Gold Show. Hope all is well. Interesting that I had the exact same opinion on the Canes Corner podcast Saturday in the early evening, where none of the extra lighting on the studio screened-in porch could keep me out of the shadows. Whatever. Yeah. It is. It is what it is. Frankly, you don't want to see me anyway. Just the shadow of me is enough. But that was exactly my take on what happened Saturday. Like, for all of you people losing your minds over the Hurricanes had a chance to sweep and didn't, did you watch the first 3 games?
Right.
Here's my only disagreement with the head coach. Carolina dominated so much the last 30 minutes of Game 2, and they were not dominated really at all by the Islanders, except for a 8 or 9 minute stretch overlapping the first and second, which got New York their 3-0 lead. Other than that, that was Carolina's game almost start to finish. But the other 3 games, I think the Islanders were probably the better team in Game 4. They deserved the win. Carolina could have won. Yeah. We were in overtime.
Yeah.
Man,
so much pressure.
I said it was going to be overtime. Could feel it. Could smell overtime of Game 4. Mm-hmm. I don't have a great feeling yet, but we're not at Game 5. That's tomorrow. We're going to talk to Tony D'Angelo in about 13 minutes. I am looking forward to catching up number 77.
Yeah.
I think he's played very well both games. He is drawn in. Mm-hmm. And Carolina's defense is not the reason. There were a couple of breakdowns, but I don't know that they were about defense or the defenseman. And I have some questions about some things, and maybe I'll ask Tony that. I don't know. I have no idea. Tony might not care about specific situations. Why didn't this? Why aren't the Hurricanes winning any faceoffs?
I know, that's a great question. Wow, so bad.
Yeah, it was the difference, honestly. Now, normally it's not the difference because Carolina wins faceoffs almost every night, and it doesn't guarantee you anything.
No,
but man, they could have won a few more. It wouldn't have hurt. All right, we have a lot of stuff to get to. Tony's going to join us in about now 12 minutes. So let's get started. And then we'll talk to Victoria in the next segment. Panthers went about the business of drafting to help Bryce Young. I thought it was pretty clear early on we are going to help him when we haven't in the past. Here is Dave Canales, the head coach.
Absolutely. I feel like we really took advantage of some of those spots to, bring a bunch of talent, into our roster, specifically talking about the offense, just looking positionally, with a running back, a receiver, and a tight end, skill-wise, just really bringing a little bit of juice there to really challenge that whole group and elevate the offense. So I'm really excited about what we did there.
All right, so let's go through those 3 things he just said. Xavier Liggett, that's how you pronounce it. He has all the tools to be very good. He's got size, he's got speed, he's got strength. He's not an amazing route runner, but, that's what practice is for. That's what NFL coaching is for.
A great accent.
Right. We're going to need subtitles. Sorry.
I know.
We are going to need subtitles.
I know. It's fantastic.
I
love it.
We'll get it. It's honestly, if you watch like period piece movies,
yes,
right, or if you like Monty Python,
oh yeah,
right,
big time,
or if you are into Shakespeare, as I am, I love Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
If you see any of the films done in the Shakespearean English,
yes,
it takes a while.
It's rough.
Honestly, if you're a fan of The Princess Bride, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the second viewing that you will get it.
Right.
The first viewing, that's good.
Yes.
It's the second and even the third viewing where
click.
now you start getting it. It's the same thing with Monty Python. There's just you have to pick up the cadence and the
Yes.
right.
Peaky Blinders, the show I recommended. That's another
Okay,
one
there
where
you
it's
go.
very thick and sometimes you just have to kind of guess what they're saying.
I'm going to need subtitles. I'm just saying. Okay, so you get Liggett. Jonathan Brooks, I think, is viewed as the best running back in the class. Okay. I don't know if he's the second best tight end, but certainly one of the better tight ends not named Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's my question. I am not sure they made the team better. They gave Bryce Young 3 weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure Sanders is going to be that much of a difference maker at tight end. He might be better than what they have, but that shouldn't be the bar. But here's my question. At number 39, with 2 potentially elite-level cornerbacks sitting there, you trade back. Okay. By the way, the trade with L.A. is looked at as maybe the most lopsided trade of draft picks in the entire draft.
Yeah.
Not only do you pick up an additional pick in the current draft than you did, but you got a second next year. That's awesome. But at what price? Because you needed a cornerback out of this draft. And they did draft one in like the 5th round, but miss me. You had 2 guys who could legitimately start. The guy they drafted, though, is, and I'll get his name here in a second. What's his name? Chow Smith-Wade from Washington State is looked at as somebody who can be a slot cornerback. So that's good. But, man, you could have gotten Kool-Aid McKinstry was there.
I know, we wanted Kool-Aid.
Right, we wanted Kool-Aid. Cooper DeJean from Iowa, who was by every surface I looked at, said that he was the best available player at the start of day 2.
Yeah.
Right? And you could have gotten him at 39.
Was he in your mock draft?
He was not. I did.
Oh.
No, actually, one of them, yes.
Yeah.
But I had so many, it's not even fair. So, my only question is, and if we ever talk to Dan Morgan, and they'll never be honest about this, so they're only going to talk about the guys they did draft. Did you think, because they didn't trade back that far, they only traded back 7 spots. Did you think that all 4 of the corners, there was a run on corners right after the trade the pick you traded. The next 4 picks were all cornerbacks. Did you think that one of those 4 would fall to you at 46, and then then you had to go to plan B? I wish they would be honest about that. My hope is that that's what they hoped would happen. And if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. But boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
Cornerbacks, 4 straight picks. And then, the running back, I think is going to be good. And he'll be their day 1 starter.
Sure.
There's no question, I think, that barring an injury, Jonathan Brooks is an upgrade over, who's the guy we just had? We still have.
That we still
the
have.
running back.
Oh, Sanders?
No, not Miles. Do they still have Miles Sanders? I thought they got rid of Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think he's going to be the day 1 starter.
Yeah.
Brooks.
I know people were worried about his ACL.
Yeah, but I mean that was
a while ago.
Yeah.
I think he's fine.
He's good. Okay, he'll be all right.
He healed.
Yeah, I mean, look, not everybody comes back, so I guess it's a risk. But trading back into that position, right? They were further back. It was a little bit further back because they traded back up. But trading back in to get a running back, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy about that. But I'm curious if they thought that maybe one of those corners would fall to them because it was actually further back that they traded. It was probably another 6 or 7 spots. I'm just curious, did they think that he would be there? Well, one of the corners would be there. Anyway, I just think that I'm not sure they really helped the team. And here's the other thing. They took a linebacker in the 3rd round, not named Peyton Wilson.
Right.
Which, curious to me. But anyway,
Same.
whatever. They might have been scared away by the injury history there. They weren't scared away by the injury history of Brooks.
Yeah.
They might have been scared away by the age of Peyton Wilson. Because the description of the linebacker they took doesn't seem like as good as what I watched for 2 years, with the last 2 years of Peyton Wilson, who fast, everywhere, cover, tackle, blah, everything.
Fast.
Right? And he's going to the perfect place. The perfect place. A team that creates stars on defense. So good for him. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But they didn't draft an offensive lineman of any kind. And by the way, at 46, Zach Frazier, the center from West Virginia, who is probably starter material. He was sitting there. Didn't draft him. They didn't draft another wide receiver.
No.
Like, really?
Not one.
Now maybe there will be other wide receivers you can get in free agency, or maybe even a trade at the end of training camp, but that's all you added was the one?
Yeah, I was a little surprised.
You could have made the argument that you should have drafted a wide receiver at 39.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little curious as to all of those things that they necessarily didn't do. But again, I want to make this clear. I have no clue. What I thought was important is not important. What they thought is important is important. Whether I'm right or they're right, we'll find out over the next, it's really not the next year. We'll find out over the next 2 or 3 years. But I really thought that the most important things to come out of this draft were multiple wide receivers, a cornerback who could start, and maybe they got it. Another offensive lineman.
Yes.
Right? And maybe a defensive tackle. I think they did take a defensive tackle late, but hey, one of the guys that was dynamite is the guy the pick they traded out with the Rams, Braden Fisk from Florida State, who is just an athletic mauler, but probably isn't nose tackle material, maybe not even defensive tackle, but if you're playing a 3-4 anywhere along the one of the 3-4 defensive ends, which are really glorified tackles. Anyway, I wasn't in love, but then again, I ain't the expert, so I'm not going to criticize him beyond what I just did. All right, real quick, as we flip this over to the Carolina Hurricanes, and Tony D'Angelo will join us in a couple of minutes. Carolina's still one win away from a date with the Rangers in round 2. Lost 3-2, double overtime to the Islanders on Saturday. And again, as Rod Brindamore said, this has been more of an even series than most people think. I don't think the Canes were lucky necessarily to be up 3-0 heading to Saturday. But if you look at games 1 and 3 objectively, I think you'd have to say that either team could have won. Either team could have won game 1 or game 3. Hurricanes happen to win both. I think Carolina dominated game 2 and won it. I don't care that it was 3-0 New York. Carolina was the better team. If you watched the game, you knew it. You knew it. That's fine. So game 2 belonged to them. Games 1 or 3, toss-ups. They happen to get both of them. And I thought game 4, the Islanders, start to finish, were better. I don't think it was a lot. Certainly it was a game Carolina could have won. We were in two overtimes.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a game they could have won. But to me, it was, I had zero problem with the result. Frankly, if you think about it, Carolina could easily be in a 2-2 series. Easily be in a 2-2 series.
Yeah.
But man, the face-off problem in game 4. Sebastian Aho on where it really manifests itself.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. I mean, there's, many areas that, you can, how do you get to a game, but that's one for sure. And like I said him before, that oftentimes, instead of having a puck position, you're chasing the game. So, that's one area we need to be better, myself for sure.
They did not start with the puck. Sebastian Aho just 3 out of 18 in game 4 in the faceoff circle. I mean, again, to say it's the reason they lost is silly because they were double overtime with losing 75% of the faceoffs. it's still double overtime. So you can't say, well, that's why they lost. It's just, to me, it was just Islanders maybe a little bit better. Just like Carolina was a lot better in Game 2. And Game 1 and 3 could have gone either way. Tony D'Angelo, my friend, back in the lineup, number 77, joins us on the Adam Gold Show. How you been, man?
Good to talk to you. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well. 3-1 in the series. I think you guys probably feel pretty good about being 3-1 up, even though maybe you would have loved to have closed it out and not had to play a game no more.
Yeah, of course. But anytime you can be up 3-1 in the series, no matter how you're playing, you'll take it. But, we think you're probably going to hear this a million times. We just talked about it a ton in the locker room as well. As we think we have another level to get to. So being up 3-1 and feeling that way is a good thing for us.
Oh, there's no question, right? Now, you don't take faceoffs. I am curious, though. How much conversation is there about it? Because sometimes it's not the centerman that loses the draw, and I don't even, like Jack Drury on the power play goal that the Islanders scored early in the third period. That was actually a face-off win, right?
It just bounces and ricochets, that kind of stuff.
Do you guys talk about face-offs? Maybe Rod doesn't talk about it with the whole group. Maybe he just talks about it with the centers. But do you have a theory on why the numbers might have been so lopsided?
Yeah, I think the Islanders, listen, it was a desperate game for them. They were doing everything in their power to start with the puck and bear down on every little thing, and they did a good job as far as the circle went. And we have some of the best centermen in the league, and I think his percentage-wise backs it up as well. So it was a fluky game as far as I say percentages go. They did a good job. You got to give them credit. They won the loose pucks, like you said. Not every loss is a clean win or lose. They got there to the pucks, first on it, and they chip it back to their deep man or whatever they do that counts as a win. And it made a big difference in the game, obviously. But I heard you saying as I was coming on, it's still a 2-2 game, and I think we're going to come back, and we trust our centers. Every face-off we go in, we're expecting to win. One tough game is what it is. They'll bounce back, and they'll be winning draws, and as defensemen and wingers, we'll do what we can to help them out too, to dig in.
Did Pierre Engvall get away with interference right off the face-off?
I'm not going to go there. It is what it is. That game's in the past.
Right.
But we got to just focus on what we can do better.
Tony D'Angelo, I couldn't bait you. Good for you. Tony D'Angelo here on the Adam Gold Show. Just stepping away from these couple of games real quick. I mean, I know you've had this was a difficult year for you. How did you keep dialed in? Because every time you did draw in at the end of toward the end of the season, I thought you played well. How did you keep dialed in and focused on knowing that you'd be ready when you got your chance?
Yeah, I think that's probably the main thing that kept me ready. I am pretty confident in my game, and I don't think of myself as a 70 anywhere, or a guy that shouldn't be playing. Turns out that's the way it went this year, and that is what it is. But things didn't shake out the way we panned out, the way we thought and the way I thought. But that's I like these guys so much here. We're so close. I love the locker room. I love the fans and the people. I'm not gonna take my frustrations that I had during the season for not playing out on the ice. I got to come out there and try to be the best I can. And the most important thing is trying to win. And I had that in the back of my head all year. Obviously, things came up where who knows what was going to happen, deadline, this, that, but it didn't. And my mindset is at some point, hopefully, I'm going to be able to help this team win the whole thing, and it's our goal, and be part of it. And that's just the way I try to keep it. And like I said, it all comes back to the love I have for the guys in the locker room. It's not their fault. It's not anybody's fault. I want to be part of it. I'm part of it with them. I'm not going to sulk and cry about it and be selfish, because at the end of the day, what matters is Carolina Hurricanes winning, hopefully the whole thing, and not Tony D'Angelo's individual stats or this or that. So that's kind of the way I try to go about it.
And it comes at the expense of, I know, a very good friend. How's Brett doing?
Yeah, I mean that's the bad part about this business and the way things unfold sometimes, because it's one of my best buddies there, and a guy that is irreplaceable to this franchise, to this team, and we need him in the lineup, and we're hoping he's going to be back as soon as possible. But like I've been saying, just try to fill the void that's left when he goes out for however long it may be, and do whatever I can to help the team win, just like he would be doing. So that's kind of the way we go about it. And I think everybody's on the same page. We got a real close group of guys, but when it's one of your best buddies, it's it's even tougher when you have to come in for them.
But you come into a situation where you're familiar with playing with Brady Shea. You played with him here. You played with him in New York as well. Has to make it easier for you.
Yeah, of course. No, Brady and I, and how close we are off the ice, too, I think plays a big role in the seamless transition. Kind of they go back and different style play I am than Pesce is for him. Different type of defending. Different looking to jump, whatever. And but we've been together so long. I've been on. So I've played in the league 8 years now. I think I've been on the same team as Brady for 7 of them, or 6 of them, whatever, 2 years apart. But so it's easy, and he's such a great player, such a great defender and skater, that it's nice to just be able to read off him in his defensive zone. He's skating and just find my guy, and I think so far we've done a good job. But like me and him have talked about too, we think we have another level to get to, and I think we can create more offense together and jump into play a little more. So there's more for all of us.
Tony DeAngelo is joining us here. Game 5 tomorrow night, 7:30 against the Islanders at PNC Arena. Yes, you and Brett don't play exactly the same game, but I think Brady can play either, right? Brady is good at playing more of a defensive game, and he can certainly jump up.
Oh, you better believe it. The guy has back-to-back double-digit goal seasons, almost 50 points this year. Plays in the power play, plays in the penalty kill, skates like to win. Doesn't get much better than being able to jump in and play with the Brady Shea. Friendship or not, I'd be saying the same thing. It's just he's a top 4 defenseman on any team in the NHL. So it's a pleasure to be able to jump in there and play with him.
Let me ask you about when the team brings in Jake Guentzel and Yevgeny Kuznetsov, and specific to Kuznetsov, who he had not played a lot of hockey recently, and he's had a rough go of it the last couple of years. But he seems to really enjoy, A, his role, and B, where he is. What has he brought to the group?
Yeah, on top of the talent that you could just watch with your own 2 eyes, you see the skill and talent and seeing it like flawless skating he has. He just glides through the ice without even trying to move. He just gets by guys. But he brings a great energy to the locker room too. Upbeat personality, funny guy. Kind of bring, if you look at our T-shirts, the Plumber's Plum T-shirts that we have for the playoffs, it's coming from him, and just kind of a nice fresh start for him. I think I don't want to speak on his behalf, but he just seems happy to kind of get in a fresh place. He's got his buddy Orly here, and be on a team that has a chance to go into the playoffs and have a chance to win. He seems happy, and he's been great for us so far. And like you said, he hasn't played a lot of hockey. He's still getting himself back in. When you take off 2 full months of not skating at all, it's not the easiest thing in the world to be where we're at now. So he's a big game player. He scored a big goal in game 1 for us, and hopefully expecting many more of those as we go on.
Yeah, I thought the bench interview he did after game 1, I don't know if you guys saw it he basically said, I'm not a big fan of celebrating a win like this. He goes, we need to be so much better, right? It's not that celebrating a win is cool. But he just felt like there was so much more to give in game 1. Sebastian said that after the game. He said he thinks that there is more for the team to give. What areas do you think, because you alluded to it, what area do you think that the team could be better at?
Yeah, I think we need to do a better job, in my opinion at least, of possessing the puck down low the goal line. We've done a good job of getting into the zone. It's just a matter of let's possess it more down there. Let's create them low to high chances or maybe even quick chances behind the net, whatever it may be. But possessing the puck more in the O zone, making them work harder by the time they get it, where they don't want to try to go up the ice, where they just want to change. I think that's a big thing for us. And if we do that, then the next line comes out with the puck, and the next line comes out with the puck, and that's kind of the way we're built, and the way when you see us at our best, that's the way we're playing. So I think that's at least from my vantage point, that's one of the things I would say we need to get to. Holding on to things down low. They got big, strong defensemen. They do a good job of closing guys out. That's the Islanders' way for years now, since they had Trotz as coach. They're good at that. So making them work, and don't make it quick. Make it 20, 30, 40 seconds where they get it. If they do get it, even if we don't get anything, like I said, they're just flipping it out. Next line's coming out, and we do the same thing, but we're with the puck. Do it again, and then again, and again, and then try to get those breakdowns and a couple scoring chances, and hopefully capitalize on one of them.
And that's really what happened for a good chunk of game 2.
Game 2, at home.
The last 30 minutes of that game were just ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of game you want to play, because listen, they did a good job of defending until the last, 2 minutes it took us till we scored that third goal to tie the game.
Yeah.
But when you just keep going and going and going and going, eventually one of them is going to go in, and it did. Even if it doesn't happen in game 2, if you keep going, game 3. That's why it's a 7-game series. You just keep doing that over and over again. Good things are going to come.
All right, 2 quick things. One, were you happy with the Eagles draft?
I don't want to be an NFL scout, but I was pretty happy with it. It seemed like they did a good job. And I know what you're going to ask. Number 2, I'm loving my Philly start.
Let me get to that. Let's deal with the Eagles first. They drafted a lot of ACC players. We don't play great football in this league, Tony.
I want to know about the center from NC State we drafted. That's one guy I don't know.
Very good. Look, yes, absolutely. I think McMahon is a good player. I think you'll like him a lot. I think
big
State
shoes to fill.
Yeah, yes.
For Kelsey.
Those are not shoes. Those are like craters to fill in so many different ways. Look, if they drafted him with the idea that he's going to step in and be a starter, I think Dylan McMahon is a heck of a player. But honestly, the linebacker you got from Clemson, Jeremiah Trotter.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites, big boy. Old man Trotter was one of the best.
Absolutely. The running back, Will Shipley's a local kid. Played at.
I like Shipley too. I mean, it seemed like they got a lot of big names. I was reading somebody that was chirping the Eagles for taking all the big names in the draft. The big college names, Shipley and Trotter and DeJean, however you say his name, the corner out of Iowa.
Yeah.
But hey, they were big names for a reason. So hopefully it translates to the NFL.
All right, what excites you about the 4th best record in Major League Baseball belong to the Philadelphia Phillies? They're second in the division because the Braves are so good. But what excites you about the Phillies start?
Yeah, I mean, besides the starting pitching's been incredible.
Yep.
But even without that holding up, it's the bats are coming. The bats haven't even been great, and they're still 19-10. So even if the pitching takes a little bit of a step back and the hitting continues to go the way they're going now, this is it's a good team. But the good thing is the last couple of years, even though they went to the World Series and the NLCS, it was a grind to get there. So they had such bad starts. They were grinding all the way through to get there. You got to win this series, that series. So it's nice finally to be 9 games over and just no pressure, just playing good ball, and they should cruise their way into the playoffs this year, which is nice.
All right, we'll let you go here. I don't know how you find time to do all this stuff. I can't. I can't keep up with everything like I used to. Tony, I appreciate your time, man. I'll see you at the rink.
Anytime. Appreciate it. I'll see you soon.
You got it. Tony D'Angelo here on the Adam Gold Show. He knew it was coming.
I love it. Well, I may have mentioned something about baseball.
I mean, that's right. Your Cubs are off to a decent start.
They are. I mean, they kind of stunk the past couple games against the Red Sox, but that's okay. That's fine.
Red Sox. The Red Sox are not good.
Yeah.
Actually, I think everybody in that division is pretty close to 500 or over.
Yeah. Well, they gave them a tough time the past couple games, so.
I am pleasantly surprised. I literally have not watched an inning of baseball yet this year.
No?
Not an inning of Major League Baseball yet this year. I've been otherwise occupied.
It's a little busy. Well, the fact that Tony has time to even keep
That's
up with
what blows me away. Blows me away.
Like you're in the playoffs
dude, you're
right
busy.
now.
I mean, look.
Yeah.
Honestly, he probably has more free time than I do.
Probably.
Right?
There's a lot of traveling, so maybe he's watching these things like as he's going from.
I'm sure they have Wi-Fi on the plane. He's downloading game highlights and all that stuff. I have no idea. I can't keep up with all of it.
Crazy.
I cannot do it. All right, when we come back, one area star in a great place, another in a not so great place. Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
You're always close to the Canes with 99.9 The Fan.
Martinook banks it in. He scores! Jordan Martinook with the steal and the finish. And it's 4-3 Carolina. What a comeback!
Count on us to bring you every Canes game night and the latest Canes news from insider Adam Gold, your official home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's time to shop sparkling deals. It's Bailey's Fine Jewelry's multi-million-dollar inventory reduction sale.
Going on now.
Shop jewelry up to 60% off. Diamonds, watches, earrings, bracelets, necklaces, and rings are all on sale. The perfect time to shop for Mother's Day, anniversary, or engagement rings without breaking the bank. Shop the largest selection of luxury jewelry for less at Bailey's Big Sale. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
It's Truck Month at your local Ram dealer, and now's the time to get great deals on our award-winning lineup of trucks. At Ram, all we do is trucks. Maybe that's why Ram is the most awarded light-duty and heavy-duty truck brand over the last 5 years. Ram trucks feature innovative technology and uncompromised power and dependability that give you the power to strengthen your truck game. Go to Ram.com for great deals and hurry in for the best selection of trucks during Ram Truck Month. Based on total full-size pickup awards 2019 to 2023 CYTD, based on standard and available features offered.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or a 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Adam Gold here from my friends at CertaPro Painters, and I call them my friends because I have used them before, and let me tell you, they know how important your home is to you. They made that clear to me. That's why they're focused on helping you bring a fresh color to your home, and they're great in even the hard-to-reach places we have vaulted ceilings. Each CertaPro Painters business is also independently owned and operated. In other words, they live right here in our community. You can schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
This is Adam Gold.
I got news for you. If I see a hammerhead shark swimming near me in open water,
nope,
we're gone.
Bye.
We're done. I'll be on the dock.
I'm done. I've seen Jaws. You can't fool me.
Yeah, I'll be on the dock.
Yeah.
I'll be, or in the boat or something. I will not be.
Yeah.
I will not be in open water.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. We're going to talk about 2 area stars, one that went to a great spot and the other that went to a not-so-great spot. We'll do that in a second. Just a quick postscript on Tony D'Angelo. It has been a really tough year. Remember, we talked to Tony when he signed, right? Remember, he was bought out by the Flyers and Hurricanes. It was rumored that the Hurricanes were going to trade for him. And that trade was all but consummated, and then all of a sudden it just stalled. And ultimately, the Flyers bought him out. Hurricanes picked him up. He got here. We talked to him right after the signing. And he talked about being confident that he could win a job. And maybe he could have, maybe he should have, I don't know. He won the job because he started. He was in the opening night lineup. He was paired with Dmitry Orlov on the third pair. Everybody else was where they normally are. It did not go well. 6 weeks, ultimately, maybe a little bit less. It was a mess. Tony wasn't playing all that well, but it wasn't just his fault. The Hurricanes as a team were not playing all that well. Dmitry Orlov wasn't playing all that well. And without knowing a ton, for sure, here's my guess, is that what Rod would have liked to have done, I think, would have been to play Chatfield and D'Angelo together some. But Dmitry Orlov was signed to a $7.75 million contract annually for 2 years. That guy was not coming out of the lineup because you can't take that guy 5 weeks into the season and say, you know what? We think you need to watch for a bit. So he was always going to get the benefit of the doubt to play through it. Tony was not. So it was very easy to look at Tony and say, you're the problem. There were a lot of problems the first, several weeks of the season. We all know that. It wasn't just Tony. It was goaltending too, right? Goaltending was, bad. And Freddie was out. But from, Tony stopped playing like a week or so into November, 2 weeks into November, and was out of the lineup. And only came back in when guys were injured. And then at the end of the season when Carolina was resting guys. So Tony played the last 3 games of the regular season. And now he's needed. And if you watch the 2 games of the playoffs, Tony's been good. Legitimately good. And it's a credit to his professionalism that he was ready. There's 2 ways to be ready. You have to be mentally sharp to be ready. So you have to stay in it even when you're not playing. And you have to keep your conditioning up, which can't be fun when you're not playing. To that, I credit him, and I believe, if I have this right, Jeff Daniels, one of the assistant coaches, who is the guy in charge of keeping the healthy extras ready physically.
Yeah.
And it ain't fun.
I'm sure. That's tough.
I'll talk to Tony about that in a private moment. But credit to him for being ready and being good for the last 2 games. So hopefully the Hurricanes can put this series to bed tomorrow night at PNC Arena. All right, now to 2 players drafted from, and I'm going to spend very little time on the one who's in a great situation because we already talked about it. If you're a Steelers fan, you got Peyton Wilson in the 3rd round, I think pick number 98, which is, I'm not a Panthers fan.
Yeah.
But the Panthers took a linebacker who, look, we have no idea. We have no way of knowing. The linebacker they took from Kentucky ultimately might work out. So, Trevin Wallace is the linebacker from Kentucky. But, man, I watched Peyton Wilson for 2 years go sideline to sideline, interceptions, fumble recoveries, athleticism, all of that.
So fast.
Yes. But Trevin Wallace is also pretty quick. So this is not like he has some measurables that I think that everybody will like. But I think Wilson is just such a good player and a prospect and a local kid who wanted to be here too. I think that's a miss, but they didn't. I'm sure they feel a lot more confident in their decision than I do in saying that Peyton Wilson would have been the better player. But I think Wilson is going to the perfect spot. He's going to an organization that is super stable and has a history of creating great defensive players. Great defensive players. Alex Highsmith, friend of the program, by the way, just renegotiated his deal. They converted all of his salary to a signing bonus. So that's good. Might be good for the agent. I don't know how that works. So that basically gave them a little bit more cap room. But they are loaded now at linebacker, and I think it's possible that Wilson could even be, somewhat of an edge player for them. He is so fast. Got a great nose for the football, too. So great spot for him. As for Drake May, we talked about this last week. I'm not sure that the situation he's going into in New England is significantly better than the situation Bryce Young entered in Carolina. So if you go and look at what teams' needs were going into the draft, the Patriots needed a quarterback, an offensive tackle, an offensive guard, and a wide receiver. Oh, that's it? That's all? They basically needed an offense. That side of the ball had so deteriorated under Bill Belichick. The quarterback position was bad. The offensive line was, it was like chewing gum and rubber bands holding it together. Wide receivers, they have Juju Smith-Schuster, but we're kind of beyond his sell-by date. They needed so much. Now, they addressed all of that in the draft. They draft Drake May, and then they draft a whole bunch of, wide receiver prospects, offensive line prospects. They get all that stuff. But, man, they're all projects. Everybody you draft is a project. Very few step in immediately and are legitimately good.
Yeah.
Some do. This is just going to be a really hard year for Drake May to look any better than Bryce Young did last year.
Yeah.
So I'm just warning people to be prepared for this. Drake May's a bust. Just like all the other North Carolina quarterbacks. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to happen. By the way, going into the draft last year, I kept reading this. The reason to not draft C.J. Stroud is look at all the other Ohio State quarterbacks. They all stink.
Exactly.
Right? And you
We
can
heard
make the
that.
list.
Yep.
You can make the list of Ohio State quarterbacks that got into the NFL and were just like, it's not good. It's not good. Those things do not matter at all. Do not matter at all. But their narratives because, that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to hear about it with Drake May when this season looks like it's spiraling out of control. Because even if they addressed all of the problems through the draft, the chances that those players are going to be impact starter level above average players, maybe by the end of the season some of them will, but probably not right away. And that includes Drake May, by the way. So he's got a lot to do. Well, all we got to do, we're going to talk to Evan Cohen later, who's a huge Patriots fan.
Yeah.
And we got to find Bill Belichick on Drake May talking about, I don't know what this footwork's about.
Exactly.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, because Evan, he was all excited. He was hugging Drake and apparently had to be escorted off because he's so excited.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
You're going to have to fill me in on that before we get to Evan. Anyway, he's joining us in our third hour today. So it's going to be a tough situation for Drake May. So let's get to year 2 already.
Right.
Let's just fast forward.
Yeah, you just prepare Evan.
Yes, exactly. All right, we'll come back. We have one-timers, questions, and answers next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
NC Medicaid is for more people like me.
Adults who don't have children.
People who serve.
People who do the heavy lifting.
Child care teachers.
Full health care coverage at low or no cost.
Doctor's visits, emergency rooms, and prescriptions.
So if you applied before and didn't get it, apply again.
NC Medicaid covers more people than ever before.
NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Charlotte this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games features 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Harris Teeter, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Our public power providers in North Carolina keep the power on 99.9% of the time. That averages out to be less than 1 hour a year without power. Public power line workers who work day and night, rain or shine, are key to that unbeaten reliability. Better reliability, fewer outages, faster restoration. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Hi, Darcy the Cow here for Black Cow, the mature manure. Get a better looking lawn with Black Cow. Apply to your lawn as top dressing and get 10 times more nutrients than topsoil. Black Cow will feed your lawn, your flower beds, and vegetable gardens for up to 3 months. Oh yeah, everything grows better with sun, water, and Black Cow.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
Need money for college? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, then Next NC Scholarship could pay for more than half, if not all of your tuition and fees at any NC community college or public university. And it doesn't have to be repaid. We're talking at least $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for a public university and possibly more. Get all the details about the new Next NC Scholarship and see how simple it is to apply at nextncscholarship.org. Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It is playoff time in the NBA and the NHL. Baseball's in full swing, and FanDuel is your home to wager on any game you want. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book, and right now new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you make your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. Anything you want to wager on, slap shots, home runs, slam dunks, all there. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, when you make your first $5 wager. Visit FanDuel.com, promo code AGS to get started. I can't make it any easier. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This is Adam Gold.
He takes the hat, like somebody who works there, was wearing a baseball cap, takes it off the kid's head and puts it on the hostess station. Just takes the hat off this guy and puts it down.
Excuse you?
Like, that's exactly what I went. Like, excuse me?
Right.
What are you doing?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Coming up in about 30 minutes, Julian Council, Locked On Panthers podcast, who I'm excited to talk with, get his views on the draft. Look, we talked about the Panthers draft. They hit on, obviously, some needs for Bryce Young. I just wonder at what cost, because they had a lot of needs. It wasn't just on the offensive side of the ball. My biggest disappointment, not a single offensive lineman. And I would have gone for at least one more wide receiver. and I would have taken that wide receiver. Actually, I would have taken that wide receiver before I took the tight end.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
We need them.
Yes.
So bad.
Just adding Xavier Leggett to Adam Thielen and Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah.
And Deontay Johnson. We don't want to forget him.
Yeah.
So right now, your three best receivers are Johnson, Leggett, and Thielen. So Mingo has to improve off of last year. Otherwise,
hope so.
You are one injury away from just being two wide receivers deep.
Mm-hmm.
There's some work to be done. All right, Q&A time. Let's go.
Okay, so speaking of the draft, what grade would you give the Carolina Panthers from their draft picks?
Oh, I'm the guy who hadn't thought about a grade. B.
Okay, that's not terrible.
B, yeah. Yeah, B.
With not having
B minus
first
because
round.
you got no offensive lineman at all?
Yeah.
None?
It's rough. That's what we need.
I thought, remember when we talked to Travis Hancock from FNZ?
Mm-hmm.
Like he was making the argument for a center at 33.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one of the good centers was there, by the way. Zach Frazier from West Virginia was sitting there when the Panthers drafted at 46, where they traded back up.
Mm-hmm.
I could have seen that.
Yeah.
You can always get a running back.
Oh, yeah.
Running backs, I mean, you shake a tree and running backs fall off.
Dime a dozen now.
Yeah. I mean, heck, you could have ended up with Will Shipley.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how great a pro he's going to be, but I also think he has a chance. So.
Yeah. Okay.
B minus.
Well, not terrible. At least it's not a.
I mean, no, it's good.
Yeah.
You stay eligible.
Yeah, exactly. Well, with that, along those same lines, which team do you think did the best in the draft?
Honestly, I had to argue with the quarterback and one of the top wide receivers.
I know.
I think the Bears are. Like, I don't know how good the Bears are going to be defensively, and it's the Bears, so they'll probably screw something up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to argue with what they did at 1 and 9.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have made an argument to get a tackle at 9 instead of the other one. But the three wide receivers at the top of the wide receiver board were so ridiculously good that
they were actually smart with their picks.
Yeah. For now.
For now.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Again, it's the Bears. They'll screw it up.
Yes, exactly. We'll see how it all pans out. So, moving on to hockey, our Carolina Hurricanes did not close out Game 4 with a win, so on to Game 5. So, what do you think in your the biggest reason, in your opinion, that the Canes did not close out Game 4?
Well, I mean, again, the series has been a lot more even than people think, and Carolina could have won. I mean, it didn't win any faceoffs at all, it seems.
Yeah. Even Stahl couldn't.
Well, Stahl was actually close. He was 11 wins, 14 losses. That amounts to great for Carolina in the game. Aho was 3-15.
Yeah, he was bad.
Holy cow.
He was really bad.
Kuznetsov was 1 out of 8, I think. It was just really bad across the board. Here's my big picture, not worry, but I'm just going to point this out. The Hurricanes have scored 13 goals in 4 games. There's nothing wrong with that. That's probably good enough to win, especially for Carolina defensively. That's good enough to win every game if you're scoring, at least 3. But 4 of the goals are power play goals. 2 of the goals are empty net goals. 1 of the goal is a 6-on-5 goal. So the Hurricanes have 6 5-on-5 goals in 4 games. That's where I'd like to see the improvement for this team. Because to be honest, they haven't even been super dangerous at 5-on-5. Now, they were in Game 2, but they really weren't in Game 1s, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
They got to be better at 5-on-5.
Exactly. Well, speaking of playoffs, so Jake and Kuzi were brought in because of making the playoffs. So how do you think they have been doing thus far in the playoffs?
Good. Not great. Good. If this is the worst it gets, it's going to be fine. I think they'll get through this year. I think the Islanders are a little bit of a difficult team to play against.
Yeah.
Right? The truth of the matter is that the Islanders are not going for it. Okay? The Islanders are trying to, really muck it up and clog things up. The Rangers don't play that way. The Rangers want to get going. They want to get out and score some goals. Not that the Rangers are irresponsible, because you can do both. Carolina does both. But I think there will be more room for Gensel and Aho and Kuznetsov, who's playing on the fourth-line role anyway.
Yeah.
I think there will be more room as we move forward, but you got to get there first.
Exactly. Well, and speaking of the New York Rangers, they finished off the Capitals last night in a Game 4 sweep. So do you see this as a positive or a negative for them that they're going to have all this time off?
Well, I mean, it's never good, but being done is good. The Hurricanes, if you say, would you like to sweep or have the series extended, you'd never want the series extended. And it probably only hurts you in one game, but I don't think it hurts the Rangers. Let me just say one more thing about the Rangers. Matt Rempe is a goon. He's not that good. He's just a goon. I'm throwing it out there now.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hi, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. With this reminder, you could pay closing costs, but frankly, that's a sign that you have too much money. You might as well have just paid cash for the house. Although I know the two things are different. Closing costs are about $5,000, give or take $1,000, depending on the size of your home loan. And of course, the house probably costs significantly more than $5,000. But you understand, paying closing costs is unnecessary, on top of the fact that it takes away your freedom to refinance free of charge and lower your monthly payment if the rates come down in, let's say, 8 months, 12 months, 16 months, which they will. It's an election year. The rates will drop. On top of the fact that they go up and they come down based on market forces. Miller Lending. Gordon Miller invented the no closing cost mortgage in 1987, so you wouldn't be beholden to the banks. Take control of your own money. MillerLending.com. Great website, helpful videos, walk you right through it. You can do everything online. You don't even have to see anybody. Miller Lending, an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 2502146.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
What's up, bud? Where are you hanging for Cinco de Mayo?
Sharkies.
Sharkies?
Yep, annual crawfish boil. Don't miss it ever.
Ooh, crawfish boil. I ain't missing that either.
You know what? It's Cinco de Mayo this year.
Whoa, Cinco de Mayo. I love it. Wait, that could be a hit song. Cinco de Mayo on the bayou. Eating crawfish and sharkies
you don't need to sing. I get it.
Come join the fun at Sharky's, 5800 Durley Road, the largest crawfish boil this side of New Orleans. Cinco de Mayo this year, baby.
All day long.
See Star Wars Return of the Jedi made even more exciting as the North Carolina Symphony plays John Williams' thrilling score live this Thursday at 7:30 and Friday and Saturday at 8 at Memandi Concert Hall in Raleigh. Tickets at ncsymphony.org.
The chase for the cup is on, and if you're looking to light the lamp, nothing beats the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps. DraftKings has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. This week, all North Carolina customers can place a pre-game money line bet on Carolina, and if they lead by at least 2 goals at any time during the game, you win, even if they end up losing the game. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's TIMD with no spaces. New customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code TIMD only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. 1 early win per opted-in customer. Max bets limits apply. Token expires at the start of the game. See dkng.co/ice for wagering eligibility and terms.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show.
What I do like about this, if you look at Carolina, this is all about what's going to help Bryce Young. We saw them get Xavier Legette. We saw them go out and be really aggressive in free agency, signing Robert Hunt, maybe arguably overpaying him. But what I do like about this offseason so far is what makes Bryce Young successful. I think Jonathan Brooks, who can catch the ball. I think through that lens, this is a good pick.
Mike Tannenbaum from ESPN on Carolina's draft. I mean, Jonathan Brooks, arguably the best running back in the draft class. Most people thought he was RB1. Carolina gets him in the middle of round 2, which is apart from the guys who are thought to be absolute game changers. And there were a couple of those in last year's draft, right? Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs. Apart from somebody like that, I mean, this is where running backs are going to go. It's the way of the running back in the National Football League these days. They're a completely recyclable position. So you're going to see very few running backs get second contracts, not from the same team. Unless they are willing to take what would amount to like a serious devaluation of what they believe their skills are, what their value is. That's just the way of the world, because the position is so transient. And I like a lot of what the Panthers did, because they did concentrate on getting Bryce some help. But boy, there were big-time opportunities to get a cornerback or but a center who didn't have to play right away, right? And, yeah, they did address offensive line, then specifically guard during free agency, but the offensive line, you know this.
Yeah.
You're a fan.
There was still holes to be filled.
Offensive line is still a work in progress. We still don't know about Ike Ekwonu.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And it just feels like it's always such a work in progress.
And it might be that way for everybody, to be honest.
Maybe.
It might, even if you have a good offensive line, it might be a work in progress for everybody.
And I feel bad for offensive linemen. They don't get a lot of credit. Like good ones, you never hear about them, like the Travis Kelce's. They get to
Jason
in the spotlight.
Kelce. Jason Kelce.
No, but I mean, like Travis Kelce, who gets to be in the spotlight because he gets touchdowns. The offensive linemen never really get that spotlight.
Well,
they could
score more touchdowns. What is the complaint? What is the complaint? Anyway, so I think they should have addressed some other positions. I would have gotten another. Like if they had, instead of drafted Jonathan Brooks, if they had drafted another wide receiver, I'd have been all over that. All over it. Because I think they needed more than one. Anyway, we'll talk to Julian Council about that in about 15 minutes. Let's get to our second take on the news of the day. All right, let's do this. Let's have some fun with the brand new Panthers wide receiver, South Carolina Gamecock Xavier Legette. So he heard that the Panthers were moving up to get him.
Oh, man. I didn't know what to expect, man. I was just waiting to hear my name called. And, man, once they called me and told me that they was trading up for me, man, there was a whole lot of joy and excitement.
I I love it so much.
All right.
Oh, man.
It's fine.
It's great.
Somebody will have to tell me what he said. All right. What does he bring to the Panthers?
But I know what I feel like I can bring to the team. I can say, man, just being able to have the ability for them to move me around within the offense and then moving me around on special teams as well, man, I feel like that can bring a whole lot to the team.
I got that.
Yeah, you heard special teams.
I got all that. No,
moving
you can
around.
move me around
Yep.
on offense. I got all that. I'm good.
Yeah.
See, it's in many ways it's what we talked about before.
Yes.
It's if you're watching, like an old Shakespearean play in the Shakespearean English, or if you're watching Monty Python, sometimes you miss the jokes because you're trying to catch up to the speed on the dialect and the different cadence and
Yes.
phrasing. And here's Leggett on the accent.
Oh, yeah, man. They've been dragging it all over social media. Man. I just tell folk, man, they really just ain't never heard nobody talk for money.
Okay, that one I needed subtitles for. So look, we'll get it. We'll figure it all out.
I can help you. I'm
Can you?
familiar with more of that kind.
Are you?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's okay.
I like it.
helps-
It's fine. It's okay with me.
Plus, when you can see their face too, for some reason, you kind of understand. You can, their mannerisms and whatnot.
Look,
it's helpful.
He's a dynamite player.
Yes.
And he has all the qualities they want in a wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's got size, he's got speed, he's got hands, he's got a refined route running, but you probably could make that argument for every wide receiver in this class. I know there are some who are great at it already, fine. But he is clearly, there's a reason they wanted him, and there's a reason they wanted him where they wanted him, because they traded into the first round so they'd get the fifth-year option. But he's fun. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. And he's so happy.
Yes.
Gosh, is he happy to be where he is.
It's infectious to see.
I mean, he's an area kid, too. So that's even...
I love that.
That's even better. All right, let's get to the Carolina Hurricanes. I asked this of Tony D'Angelo, where areas where you feel like you can be better. He specifically said, essentially below the goal line offensively, more low to high. I always love when Carolina has the puck behind the net. They're super dangerous there. Here's Sebastian Aho on knowing that they need to be better.
I mean, I know that we have more, but having said that, I think we had enough chances to score a couple of goals there, but it doesn't always go our way. But there's another level, and we need to get there. I think
Aho's taken some criticism for not being, as good as he can be in the series.
I think people just got spoiled with all the goals he was getting in the regular season.
Well, he leads them in goals in the playoffs, too.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 2 goals in the 4 games. He had, the goal that made it 6-5, credit to Andre for the pass, but that's a good goal. The goal in Game 3 is probably one that Ilya Sorokin should have stopped, but also good shot.
Mm-hmm.
You get credit for that. Like Bo Horvat's goal in Game 2. I think Freddie Anderson probably wants that back, but again, elite shot, and sometimes that's enough. Right. But I think Aho has been better than people think. It was not until Game 4 that the Islanders' top players got going. Matt Barzal scored 2 goals. Aho was not on the ice for either of them, I don't believe, because the matchup that was not the matchup. The matchup was something else. I'm not as concerned. I'm more concerned about the faceoffs than anything else. And Jordan Stahl was asked if there's anything to it, especially over the last 2 games.
Yeah, frustrating. Obviously, myself throughout the lineup at center, we got to be better. I think even tonight, if we won even a part of those, we would have a better chance of winning that game. So it wasn't great. We'll look at it and we'll do better.
All right, Rod Brindamore, Mr. Faceoff, could not have been happy about that. He talked about that area of the game.
Yeah, that was one area of the game we weren't very good. The rest was, it's a good game. Two teams played hard. We didn't get the bounce tonight. That's how it goes.
Yeah, the good bounce the Islanders got, arguably was on the goal that made it 2-1. If you go through it, and anybody can go watch it on NHL.com, it is actually a face-off win. It was credited as a face-off win. Jack Drury took the draw. And by the way, at practice today, Drury was back at center in between Natchez and I think Martinook. Natchez and Martinook? I think it was Natchez and Martinook. Jarvis was playing with Stahl and Teravainen. I think that was the line.
Interesting.
Yeah, even on home ice. So Rod needed to do that in New York, but even on home ice, I think Rod's going to go with that for a little bit. He's leaving Aho, Gensel, and Svechnikov together, which tells you what he thinks of that line.
Yeah.
So because he's not messing with that at all. But even on the goal that made it 2-1, Drury wins the draw. Anders Lee beats Jacob Slavin to the puck. So Drury won the draw, but Lee got possession. And Lee passed it right back to Noah Dobson, who took the shot. But Drury, trying to go out and defend Dobson, was clearly, obviously interfered with by Pierre Engvall. Engvall sticks his arm and his stick out to get in to impede Drury's progress.
That's interference.
It's the textbook definition of 100%. Interference. Why it's not called, because I was texting with Tripp about it, and he's looking at power play disparity. Islanders are on the power play. There's 8 seconds left in the power play when they win that faceoff, or when the Hurricanes win that faceoff, technically. But because of the disparity in power plays awarded, that was Tripp's explanation for why they let it go. Except that you have to go a long way to ignore an obvious call.
Blatant.
I mean, it's 100% all day long interference on Engvall. They allow it to go, and then the mistake is that Freddie, who's probably trying to kick that puck into the corner, punches it right to Pajot, who, as I mentioned in the podcast, was incidentally the one kicked out of the faceoff circle, which put Engvall there, which meant Anders Lee knew they were going to lose the draw, so he anticipated that and beat Slavin to the puck. So a lot of things had to go wrong, but that is an obvious 100% interference all day long that the officials let go. Why I can't, we'd have to ask them.
Yeah.
But it's 100 times out of 100 that's interference. I don't know why that's allowed.
Yeah. I'm sure Tim Peel would say that too. Who comes on the show all the time. And he just celebrated a birthday.
I'll call him.
I know.
I'll call him for tomorrow.
There you go.
All right. We're going to take a break. Julian Council, Locked On Panthers podcast, will join us, talk about the Panthers draft next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Canes fans, game on.
Let's go Canes!
Let's go Canes!
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Let's go Hurricanes!
Go Canes!
Let's go Canes!
Gensel with a second try. Swim against it. They score!
Rebound score. Seth Jarvis.
What a save by Anderson!
Ride with us for every heart-stopping game. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Adam Gold from my man, Coach Pete DeRuta, Capital Financial Advisory Group. We all need an uncle or a cousin in the business. In this case, you've got a coach, a guy who can help you get to retirement with everything you need to live the life you want. Coach Pete DeRuta, he's got a game plan that will totally customize your finances for your retirement, and all you've got to do is call 888-843-0013 or text Adam to 600-700 to get that total customized personalized retirement plan for you for free. Other people are paying $1,000 for this, and it's worth it at $1,000 for total freedom in retirement. But why not get it for free if you can? Call 888-843-0013 or text Adam to 600-700. Coach Pete D'Arruda and his merry band of fiduciaries over at Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex are legally obligated to do right by you, to consider your needs above theirs. In other words, there's no commission. Capital Financial Advisory Group. Plan for retirement with the expert, Coach Pete D'Arruda. Text Adam to 600-700 today.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or a 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
It's Truck Month at your local Ram dealer, and now's the time to get great deals on our award-winning lineup of trucks. At Ram, all we do is trucks. Maybe that's why Ram is the most awarded light-duty and heavy-duty truck brand over the last 5 years. Ram trucks feature innovative technology and uncompromised power and dependability that give you the power to strengthen your truck game. Go to Ram.com for great deals and hurry in for the best selection of trucks during Ram Truck Month. Based on total full-size pickup awards 2019 to 2023 CYTD, based on standard and available features offered.
Tim Donnelly here to make sure you know how to get all of that March grossness out of your carpets with Zero Res. That means the snacks you spilled while watching games, the dust and dander that's breeding in your carpets. Get it out with Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at $105. And if you get your air ducts cleaned, they'll clean your dryer vent for free. That's a $165 value. Visit ZeroResRaleigh.com and book your appointment today or call at 919-995-0000.
Free! Who doesn't love free? With Milo's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/Milo's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
This is Adam Gold.
He takes the hat. It was like somebody who works there was wearing a baseball cap. Takes it off the kid's head and puts it on the hostess station. Just takes the hat off this guy and puts it down.
Excuse you?
Like, that's exactly what I went. I'm like, excuse me?
Right.
What are you doing?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria, producing the program. Julian Council, my man, Locked On Panthers podcast. Daily, apparently. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of podcasting. I do one after every game, and I think that's a lot. You're a machine, my man. Let's dig into the draft. First of all, Victoria asked me to give a grade. And I gave it a B- because they didn't get an offensive lineman. I would have gone for another wide receiver, and there were opportunities to get what somebody who might turn out to be an elite cornerback, and they passed. How do you look at what the Panthers did overall, top to bottom in the draft?
Shame on you, Adam Gold, for doing draft grades. I mean, come on,
well,
man.
It's true. You're right. You're right.
Actually, it's funny because, like, Bleacher Report, I do some streams with them a couple times a month, and they asked me yesterday to do draft grades, and I just felt gross doing it because on my podcast, I sat there and railed against them, talking about how it's pretty worthless to do those. But I understand, hey, man, content rather, and context is too also important. But content, we gotta churn it out this time of year. But for me, I feel like when it comes to, like, evaluating a draft, it's hard to do in the immediacy. You got to kind of wait 3 years down the road. You look at the 2021 draft class the Panthers had, obviously J.C. Horn just got a fifth-year option exercise on Friday, which is great for him considering he's missed 29 of possible 51 games in his career. But aside from him, Tommy Trimble, he's been a contributor. Brady Christensen now appears to be the backup center. And outside of that, that class ended up not being great. So we're not going to find out until 3 years down the road truly what these guys are and how this class turned out. But as far as what they needed going into the draft, they checked the box on getting a wide receiver in Xavier Legette, whether that's who you wanted or not. They needed to get a playmaker wide receiver, and they believe they've done that. And they got the fifth-year option to boot. With that, a trade up to get Xavier Legette 32nd overall. They were able to bring in a running back, which I didn't think was a need in the second round. But considering what Dave Canales, the head coach, has said about versatility at that position, it appears they felt like that was certainly a need looking at Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders. They got a tight end finally. That's great. So it's an okay draft. We'll find out in the end, 3 years down the road, how good it actually was.
Julian Council, Locked On Panthers podcast, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. When going into the draft, were there positions you felt like they needed to address that weren't addressed?
Yeah, the top three I felt like were wide receiver, and they did that. And there was really no doubt they were going to get a wide receiver with the first pick that they used, whether it was going to be at 33, as we saw, it was at 32. Then I felt like center and cornerback were the two positions, and those were not addressed in the way that I wanted them to be. Like center, they're coming out and saying that Austin Corbett, they feel good about him. Okay, cool. He's a veteran. He's been a good player when he's played at guard. We'll see what the transition to center is like for him. He's coming off 2 knee injuries, and that's the concern there for me. Also, the concern is they don't have a long-term answer at that position, and they don't have a long-term answer at plenty of positions on the roster, which is the point of the draft, trying to find those long-term answers. I don't understand why they weren't willing to get that with the second-round pick. Why not go Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon instead of getting Jonathan Brooks? Now, I do appreciate that they were able to use the Rams' desperation to get a defensive tackle into recouping that second-round pick. That's inarguable. That's a great move for Dan Morgan. Now, the player they ended up selecting at 46, we can argue the merits of whether they needed a running back, and they got the top running back. So if you're going to get a running back, get the best one on the board, and the best one on the board consensus-wise was Jonathan Brooks. So they did not get a center. That's what I thought they should do. They did not get an outside starting corner. Kool-Aid McKinstry, Cooper DeJean were two players who were also available there at 39. They did get Charles Smith-Wade, who they talk about as versatile. Going to hear that all day long from Dave Canales, apparently, when it comes to this roster build in Carolina. He's not seen as a starter outside. So they still need a starting outside corner to pair with J.C. Horn, and I would even say Dane Jackson, who has played in that role in Buffalo, but I wouldn't consider him to be the kind of guy you want to go a full 17-game season with as your number 2 corner.
Yeah, Julian Council is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show, and that's really where I was. I thought the two most important needs were wide receiver and corner going into the draft. There's no great defense that doesn't have at least one lockdown cornerback, and we're just guessing at J.C. Horn at this point because he's been unavailable for more than half of his NFL career. I hope he's in a locked, shutdown corner, and I hope he can stay healthy for once. But they needed somebody on the other side that they just didn't address. And for everything I read about the kid is that they did draft, that he is from Washington State, is that he is a slot corner, which is good. You need a slot corner too. But you could have taken both. Like you could have taken McKinstry at 46 because he was there. Right, or 39. No, 39, he was there.
Yeah, he was gone by the time they got back on board.
And they had to trade back up. They traded back further, and they traded back up to get the running back. I wonder if they thought maybe that some of the corners would fall because there was a run. Because right after Fisk was taken by the Rams, and that trade, by the way, was looked at as the most lopsided in favor of Carolina of any trade that was made. The Rams' desperation to give up essentially 2 2s for a 2 is just staggering. They don't care about draft picks apparently with the LA Rams.
I think it was the first time in like 6 or 8 years they had drafted in the first round. So that just shows you their approach. I'll say this too, Adam, when we're talking about corner, why it's even more important for this team in particular to have solid corners out there on the outside is that their pass rush is terrible. it was last year, even with Brian Burns. And I understand there's some fans who are happy to not have Brian Burns here and rather would have Jadeveon Clowney, who quite honestly has never lived up to potential we saw from him coming out of South Carolina. He's still in the league.
Yeah.
And that you can't call him a bust. He certainly has not been a bust, but he's not been a dominant player like we thought he was going to be. Myles Garrett, another number one pick out of an SEC program, has been a dominant player. Jadeveon Clowney has never been that consistently. At points in time, he has been. Like last year, he certainly was a good player. He's coming out the season where you wonder whether he's going to have the consistency he had last year. DJ Wonnum was playing opposite of Daniil Hunter in Minnesota. I'm sure that helped to get the 8 sacks. This is still not a pass rush. Whether they had Burns or not, that would have considered one of the top in the league. And you consider that the defensive line is also pretty poor. Derek Brown's a really good player, but outside of him, they didn't have any good defensive linemen that produced last year, and you're not getting any pass rush out of those guys. So you really needed, if you're not going to have a great pass rush, to have 2 really good corners on the outside and not to try to get one of those guys there in the second round and instead get a running back. And you can't, I guess you can, but you also can't in a way. I see it both sides, fault them for wanting to add another playmaker for Bryce Young, a player in Jonathan Brooks who can be a receiver out of the backfield. It's kind of tough to swallow as a Panther fan, knowing that a corner is something that they needed, but they also have stated Stephon Gilmore. There's still an open line of communication there, and he literally lives down the street from Dan Morgan on the same road. He can take him a cup of sugar and a contract and get that thing done this afternoon if they want.
That would certainly answer some of the questions. You just made me laugh with Stephon Gilmore. Were you surprised that not that they went linebacker in round 3, but that the linebacker's name wasn't Peyton Wilson?
I love that someone on Twitter said this to me. It's one of the few things on Twitter that I actually took to heart. If we didn't live in North Carolina and the Panthers were in North Carolina, we probably wouldn't obsess over Peyton Wilson. I think that's true to a certain degree for a lot of people, but he's a hell of a player, man.
Uh-huh.
He's a hell of a player. And like, this is coming from, I'm a North Carolina guy. And Peyton Wilson has been a nightmare for the last couple of years. And the game they played in Raleigh back in November was like a Peyton Wilson tribute game, the way that he was out there to play. He was the best defensive player in college football. And I've had people tell me how Trevin Wallace at Kentucky, he's a better player than Peyton Wilson. Well, that's patently false because all these awards were awarded to Peyton Wilson last year, saying he was the best linebacker, in some respects, also the best defensive player in college football last year. Now, Ian Rappaport came out and said that 22 teams share medical information, and they found that he does not have an ACL. And that makes his legend even greater last year at State, that he's playing with like no cartilage in his knee, and he was able to do what he did last season, be the best defensive player. And I also see him as being a one-contract guy. And I feel like that might be a benefit, wouldn't it? Because if you don't have to pay him down the road, you're going to pay him only a rookie wage scale, and he's going to give you, obviously, his soul and his body. That may be something that would make sense. But I guess you can't be that surprised knowing the medical history, and Carolina's probably a team that, it seems obviously was a team that was not willing to take the risk on Wilson at 72. Maybe had they been there at 98 like Pittsburgh, they would have been willing to take the risk. I can't say I'm surprised just based off everything that, you and I know, having been here in the state, watched his career, about his injuries. It can't be too surprised that he didn't get selected by Carolina there.
So this is where I would go, all right, so maybe you were hoping he'd be there later. Your next pick was in the 4th round at 101, and it was close, right? It wouldn't have been there, but it was close. I think Cedric Gray from North Carolina was still there if you just wanted to stay local. Now, I'm not saying you should, but they could have taken somebody not named Trevin Wallace. They could have taken another wide receiver or an offensive lineman or something else, a cornerback that they could have used, as opposed to a linebacker who profiles similarly but not as good as Peyton Wilson. And here's the thing, because you mentioned one contract. Most guys are one contract guys.
That's so true.
They're all one contract guys. Your running back. What are the odds that Jonathan Brooks signs a second contract with the Carolina Panthers?
0, because you should never pay running backs. I like the player, and I debate the pick for sure. I didn't think running back should have been the pick there. I like who they took. But the way I think of it, as far as the philosophy should be, is you use them you abuse them, then you lose them. Like, you don't keep them around for a second contract. Chuba Hubbard, this should be it for him after the season. Miles Sanders should be it for him. This team, for whatever reason, and this is what bad teams do, Adam, they value the running back position, like, financially. And
right.
We've seen, like, they traded up into the second round. So there could be questions about his ACL or what his role is going to be this year. If he is healthy, he is their starting running back. You do not trade up for
right.
a running back in the second round and not have them be your bell cow. So Chuba, Miles, tough luck. This is a starting running back now in Carolina. That was something that really confuses me. And the linebacker picks, Seth Gray, I'm hearing reports out of Tennessee that he's probably going to get an opportunity to start, so good situation for him. I like Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Out of Clemson. He's going to Philadelphia. That's a great story, but I think he's also a good player. And I think he didn't go into the fifth round. It just depends on where they land on the board. And the Panthers felt like they could go best player available. And at 72, they didn't trade back up after trading back down with the Jets. So maybe that was the best player on their board. And you can't necessarily be too against it, knowing that down the line next year, Shaq Thompson's not going to be in Carolina. This is his last year. So you got a year to develop your successor to Shaq and see what he can do in 2025. It's not my favorite pick. The Sanders pick, though, in the fourth round, I did like that a lot, knowing that they neglected or maybe just failed to bring in a tight end during free agency.
Julian Council, Locked On Panthers podcast. And I said this on like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that it's funny. We have so many draft experts on TV, and everybody does a mock draft. And everybody we talked to Jordan Reed, who played football at NC Central. He's with ESPN. I talked to Ryan Wilson of CBS all the time. These guys all have, they evaluate players, and they're all good at it. This is not a knock on any of them. But I guarantee that every single team has a completely different view of who the best players are, maybe beyond the first couple, but who the best players are. Like somebody who's number 3 on Dan Morgan's list of linebackers might be number 23 on Jordan Reed's list of linebackers. It's just vastly different. I don't know what to make of that, but we just know that it's going to be different. So we all judge based on who we believe in and what they rank, how they rank the players. Whereas every team's got a different list. So obviously they think Trevin Wallace is a better player than Peyton Wilson. I can't argue with it. And I'm not even going to lie and say that I watched Trevin Wallace play, because I didn't. But I watched Peyton Wilson play.
Yeah, a lot.
And that guy is a baller. I think he's in the perfect spot for him. ACL or no?
We all know that he's going to go to Pittsburgh and ball. If the body holds up, he's going to ball in Pittsburgh. He's the quintessential Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker, and that's part of the thing that maybe makes you sick as a Panther fan. Then I was like, yeah, he's going to go to Pittsburgh, and we know he's going to do his thing, and he could have done that here, maybe.
Mike, yeah, maybe. Julian Council, I appreciate your time, man. So you didn't even give it a grade, did you?
I gave it a B, I believe. I think I gave it a B- yesterday.
So that's what I did.
With these draft grades, Adam, you gotta be positive. You can't be too positive because you don't want to look to be too exuberant and kind of look like a fool, but also you don't want to be too negative because then you don't want to rain on the hope of the fans. And that's what the draft really is about hope. And I think there's plenty of things to be excited about. 3 of the first 4 picks they took are offensive weapons.
Yes.
Hopefully they'll work out. We'll find out in about 3 years' time whether this is a good draft or not, though.
That is true. Jonathan Brooks has to be the day one starter. Hopefully he's in full recovery. Julian Council, Locked On Panthers podcast, at Julian Council on Twitter. Thank you very much, my man.
All right. Keep pounding.
Oh, God. Thank you. I'll try. I'll do the best I can. I can't promise anything. Julian is the best. All right. See, he's right. It's one of the reasons I love bringing Julian on is like Gold. We can't rate drafts.
Yeah, but rating just on the needs, whether they check the boxes, you could do that.
And that's why I gave it the B-.
Exactly. Everyone should be open-minded because we do not know what's going to happen. But you can at least say, yeah, they checked off like 3 of the 4 boxes or 2 of the 4 boxes.
Yeah, but I don't know that. See, to me, in order, wide receiver, cornerback, offensive line, wide receiver again. Defensive tackle, which is one of the things that I thought was important to find somebody. I know they they addressed some of that through free agency, but the free agency, those are temporary fills. Almost every free agent you sign is temporary. Those guys aren't going to be around for a long time. So you need to draft the successor to the guys you bring in. And that, by the way, goes on the offensive line too.
Yeah.
You need to draft the replacements for those guys. And okay, I get trading from 33 to 32. I get it. The fifth-year option is what you want. Now you control Xavier Legette for an additional year. And if he's as good as he's supposed to be, as they think he's going to be, then that contract should be gotten to after year 3, right? So it encompasses year 4, fifth-year option. It all folds into one contract, and it lowers the cap hit. All smart. That's smart business, right? I get that. Trading out of 39? Okay. Remember I said that if you can get a number 1, a first-round pick, you definitely do it. I was more talking about number 33. Trading out of 39, you're probably not getting a first-round pick the following year. But you got a second. I get it. I don't get trading back up to get a running back. That's the weird thing for me. When I didn't even list running back as a need.
No.
To me, it's a luxury at that point. And again, I'm not saying you don't draft a running back, but trading up to number 46 with a center still there or other wide receivers still there, you went for a position that is not necessarily one of need. Again, best player available, but do you trade up to get that guy? I just thought that there were some issues, some areas they needed to address. And if it's about value of the draft and you don't think the value meets the need, well, then that's where you trade back and acquire more picks. And they sort of did that, but then they traded up. Boy, that's I'm not a fan of that. I'm just not. I was just not a fan of the way they got to that. And because of it, the draft in and of itself left me a little bit flat. Like they could have been better. They could have addressed areas of real need. They still don't have a corner opposite J.C. Horn. And unfortunately, and I know why they picked up the 50-year option, because he obviously is talented. But if I were them, I'm not sure I would have.
Yeah.
He has been unavailable to them. It's really, really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you evaluate J.C. Horn.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that.
So if you don't pick it up, you can always sign him. You don't have to pick up the 5th-year option. You can decline it. Or maybe what they'll do is, since they've picked it up, is they'll figure out something a little bit longer term if they want to. But again, because of his unavailability, I don't know why you would.
Yeah.
Which makes the 5th-year option to me somewhat of a contradiction.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing just seems a little bit odd. But I just think they could have addressed areas of need that they didn't really address. Now, with all of that said, and I talked about Drake May going into a position in New England where it's not ideal because they have a lot of the same areas of need that the Panthers did going into year 1 with Bryce Young.
Very familiar.
Right? Yeah. I mean, if you're a Drake May fan, then yeah, a little bit of, I've been here before. If you're a Panthers fan and like a UNC football fan and you want Drake May to do well, there's, I think, a lot of similarities. The offensive line is poor, no weapons at wide receiver. They also have a brand new head coach in Jared Mayo. So there's just a lot of question marks about the Patriots. in what I like about what the Panthers did is they did go out of their way to provide Young with some weapons. I think they could have done more. Julian is more bullish on the tight end, Jadavian Sanders. I was talking to Tim Donnelly, who was with us last Friday.
Yeah.
He does the afternoon show after us here in Raleigh on 99.9 The Fan. And he loves Jadavian Sanders. Loves him. That's great. Maybe Sanders is the guy that will be their feature tight end and a good one for a long time. So no idea. And fourth round, hey, that's probably the perfect place to take a tight end not named Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think there was anybody. I know there was the kid out of Kansas State, Sinnott, who was apparently really good. Don't know. I'm not even going to lie. I don't know if he was good or not. There are people who pretend to know. I'm not going to be one of those people. Again, I've never seen Trevin Wallace play a down of football. He might be a machine.
Maybe.
And I admit that.
But who knows?
But, man, Peyton Wilson would have been really good.
Yes, we do know about
Right.
Peyton.
But again, no, we knew the medicals, right? We knew going into the draft that the medicals with Peyton Wilson would be his biggest obstacle.
Definitely.
That if you could look through it, and by the way, he played 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he had no ACL. I don't know. I mean, no ACL. That's tough.
Yeah, that'd be talented.
Played 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And moved like that?
It's
Okay.
impressive.
I mean, they do wonderful things with cortisone these days.
They do.
So, and if it's about the second contract, who cares? Like, nobody gets second. Quarterbacks get second contracts. Some wide receivers get second contracts. And superstars get second contracts. Nobody else does.
No.
So why are we worrying about that? Like, you've heard me talk about the NFL before. It's the worst collective bargaining agreement, the most one-sided collective bargaining agreement in all of sports.
Yes.
The fact that the players, the first-round picks, are not just attached to their teams for 5 years if they're good. First-round picks. It doesn't work that way if you're not good, by the way. You don't get that security. But because of the franchise tag, you can be attached to your team for 8 years and have no ability to be a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
That's gross.
It is very gross.
How did you agree to that? And the reason they agreed to it is because they have no leverage. Players in the NFL have zero on TV. Zero leverage.
Zero goggles.
Zero goggles.
Yeah.
None. And they've never had it because management knows that, and this number might be higher now, 70% of the league can't miss a year. Can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get leverage unless you are willing to pay that price. And because the truth is that those guys, the guys at the bottom of the roster, their careers are 3, maybe 4 years. They're making about league minimum, maybe a shade more. And they can't afford to miss one of those years.
Yeah.
They just can't. They
That's
know
a
it.
Spot. Yeah.
They absolutely know it. And management takes advantage of it. So management will take things that would be beneficial to players. Like, I'll just use one particular example. Medical marijuana, right? As opposed to shooting them full of painkillers, right? Medical marijuana for athletes, it works.
Yeah, it's a thing.
But that becomes a negotiable tool. It's not, hey, this would be good for players. And it doesn't even have to be that. It's just one example. It could be anything. Something that is good for players and would benefit the entire league's playing body. That becomes, hey, we'll give you this if you give us this. The 17th game, Roger, oh man, look, I could go way into this and I'm not going to now because we're out of time. But we're going to talk about the fact that Roger Goodell is already floating game 18.
Wow.
already floating. In the CBA, it says that the league can't go to 18 games until this contract is up, which is not until, I think, 2030 or 2031. They're already floating 18 games. And I will just say this once. The league will kill the players to make another dollar.
Mm-hmm.
They do not care about players. They only care about how much money they can make. And if your opinion is, well, the players get a lot of that money too, wrong. They don't. Because ultimately we're going to see that the players' careers are shortened.
They are.
They're, in terms of how many years they can play, will be shortened by how many games they're being asked to play.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. And nobody cares.
I mean, look at running backs. That's one position in particular that their lifespan has been shortened because of this.
Their earning potential has been shortened. Like Ezekiel Elliott's going to go back to Dallas.
Right.
Right. But their earning potential is shortened.
Mm-hmm.
Because quarterbacks are getting all the money. Quarterbacks and wide receivers are getting all the money. Anyway, we're going to place bets and we're going to stretch. Next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
NC Medicaid is for more people like me.
Adults who don't have children.
People who serve.
People who do the heavy lifting.
Childcare teachers.
Full health care coverage at low or no cost.
Doctor's visits, emergency rooms, and prescriptions.
So if you applied before and didn't get it, apply again.
NC Medicaid covers more people than ever before.
NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Charlotte this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games features 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Harris Teeter, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Our public power providers in North Carolina keep the power on 99.9% of the time. That averages out to be less than 1 hour a year without power. Public power line workers who work day and night, rain or shine, are key to that unbeaten reliability. Better reliability, fewer outages, faster restoration. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Hi, Darcy the cow here for Black Cow, the mature manure. Get a better looking lawn with Black Cow. Apply to your lawn as top dressing and get 10 times more nutrients than topsoil. Black Cow will feed your lawn, your flower beds, and vegetable gardens for up to 3 months. Oh yeah, everything grows better with sun, water, and Black Cow.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
Think earning a degree is out of reach? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, it's time to think again. Because the new Next NC Scholarship could cover all of your tuition and fees at any of the 58 NC community colleges. Or at least half, if not all of your tuition and fees at one of the 16 public universities across the state. The best part? It doesn't have to be repaid. See if the Next NC Scholarship could be the opportunity for you and how simple it is to apply at nextncscholarship.org. Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
ACT Construction Equipment is proud to be your certified local Takeuchi dealer in Charlotte, Winston-Salem, Asheville, Wilmington, and Myrtle Beach. Takeuchi has long been a world leader in the compact construction industry. Let ACT Construction Equipment help you find the right machine for the job. Our full line of excavators, track loaders, and attachments are designed for low maintenance and high productivity. Stop in today for a demo or visit us online at actce.com. ACT Construction Equipment, your authorized Takeuchi dealer.
Have you ever noticed how little things can make a big difference? Next time you see a man or woman in uniform,
Why not stop and thank them for their service to our country? And what about the nurse at the hospital or the cafeteria worker serving your plate? A smile and a word of thanks goes a long way. In North Carolina, we have always taken pride in being kind to everybody. Little things do make a difference. Makes you feel better. Makes everyone around you feel better.
This is Adam Gold.
North Carolinians wagered $659,308,541 on sports.
It's a little bit.
Treat it as entertainment only. Just look at it as fun.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria's here. All right, I got a lot to do. Coming up next hour, Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. Unabashed Panthers fan and apparently a Drake May stalker.
Yes, Patriots fan.
Did I say Panthers fan?
Yes.
I meant Patriots fan.
I mean,
yes.
we could maybe turn him into a Panthers fan, but he's going to be living that same life as a Patriots fan.
Honestly, that would be like it's like turning somebody into a Jets fan.
I know.
I mean, we are who we are.
Leggett might turn him, so
maybe he is
once
fun.
he hears the accent.
I think he is super fun. All right, we'll talk to Evan Cohen about the draft coming up in our next hour. Right now, it's time to stretch.
Okay, so I used Tay Tay as a bump song because I read an article where her latest album, The Tortured Poets Department, she swears like 5,600% more than her debut one.
What? Really?
So she's dropping all kinds of F's and stuff everywhere. So,
Is she really?
Oh, yeah. So parents, if your kids are listening to Taylor because you think this is old school Taylor, no.
She getting edgy like
Yes.
Miley Cyrus?
Yes, Travis Kelce has been a bad influence on her, I guess. I don't know.
right.
So in particular, the song Down Bad, I have not listened to any of these, so I don't know.
I haven't listened to it yet either.
But it has 18 different words, and Florida has
Really?
12. So, yeah, you might catch some F's in those. So just so you know, if you're a parent and you're like, oh, my daughter loves Taylor Swift, she's 12, yeah. Then, yeah, you might want to be a little careful there. So I found that was interesting. Yeah, a little fun fact. Now, I don't find this very interesting. People in their fashion trying to be a certain way. This is just weird. Okay, this is just weird. In UK, there is a designer who makes clothing, and their name is Jordan Luca, who just debuted some jeans. Now, these aren't just any jeans. These are jeans that make it look like you didn't get to the bathroom quick enough.
What?
Yeah, so these are I'm using quotes. These are, quote, pea stain jeans. Yes, I'm not making this up. I've seen pictures. I don't know why anyone would want this, but it made its debut last fall on the runway and sold out immediately because why not? And the price tag for this is $810. Yes.
I mean, I got nothing for that.
I know. There's also a light wash where the stains are not, quote, as obvious. This is just so weird. And that only sells for $600. So if you're so inclined, you can...
What's the theory behind why this is... We need this.
No idea. I don't know. I mean, I'm not like a fashionista. I like cute and comfy, and that is not what this is going for, I guess.
Are they marketing to really older people or super young kids?
It's probably young kids because I feel like once you get past age maybe 21, you're going to be like, why? Like, what is the deal here?
I'm going to be honest here. I didn't know we were going with the number one.
Right.
My first
You
initial
thought it was
like,
gonna
why
be
are we
this-
doing
yeah.
that? Why are we doing that?
Exactly.
But never
yeah.
mind.
No, it's the other one. So, yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird. But what's not weird is making good bets.
Place your bets.
well.
Place your bets. Here we are.
If
I
we
bet
can.
Tyson's awards $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right, I had overtime.
Yeah.
I had under 5.5 goals.
Yeah.
Had Jake Gensel scored in overtime to win it for Carolina. That would have been crazy.
Would have been perfect.
Yeah. That didn't happen. All right, we'll worry about the Canes tomorrow. You go first.
It did not happen. So he was part of my parlay with real units this weekend. It didn't work out, though, because I picked the wrong winner. The Tampa Bay Lightning are taking on the Panthers again because the Panthers didn't sweep the Lightning. Give me Steven Stamkos as an anytime goal scorer, plus 175.
All right, he has got 5 goals already in the series. All right, we'll stay on ice. Tampa Bay wins. Under 6.5 goals, plus 330.
Oh, okay.
We're going to game 6 in that series.
Oh, you
Probably
think so?
not.
I was going to say, I think they just did a gentleman's sweep, maybe. We'll see tonight. The Dallas Stars are in Vegas taking on the Golden Knights. This is a fun series. Not the way some people had thought it going. Give me Jack Eichel as an anytime goal scorer, plus 190.
All right. I think Vegas is going to come back and win that game.
Yeah.
I don't rule Dallas out for this series, but I think Vegas wins over 5.5 goals plus 245.
Okay. And I'm trying to find, oh, there we go. Highest scoring period in this same game, the Knights and the Stars, I think might be third. Why not? It's plus 210. We'll go with it.
Is it possible that the Miami Heat can do it twice to the Boston Celtics? Because I don't, but if you are confident, Miami plus 400 is intriguing. But Oklahoma City closes out that series, I think, over New Orleans, and Denver does the same with the Lakers. Combine them at plus 110.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the outdoor things you love to do. Hiking, jogging, biking, going to the beach. You name it, it can't be done. Don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints like your knees, hips, back, and shoulder. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime. This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, who is an orthopedic surgeon who became a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Revolutionary treatments for joint pain are here. Call 919-400-5473 with locations in Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473.
What's up, bud? Where are you hanging for Cinco de Mayo?
Sharkies.
Sharkies?
Yep, annual crawfish boil. Don't miss it ever.
Ooh, crawfish boil. I ain't missing that either.
You know what? It's Cinco de Mayo this year.
Whoa, Cinco de Mayo. I love it. Wait, that could be a hit song. Cinco de Mayo on the bayou. Eating crawfish and Sharkies
you don't need to sing. I get it.
Come join the fun at Sharky's, 5800 Durley Road, the largest crawfish boil this side of New Orleans. Cinco de Mayo this year, baby.
Sharkies all day long.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go.
The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
April is here. Time to call Window Nation. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free. Plus, save even more with no interest or payments for 24 months. Don't miss out. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show.
My expectations are for Drake May not to play a meaningful snap this season. One, Drake May's thrown 1,000 balls the last 2 years in college football. He's got a ton of football reps. Number two, this roster is not remotely close to being capable of supporting a rookie quarterback and easing his entrance into the NFL, let alone winning. I'd sit Drake May. I would allow him to develop. I would not want to ruin the tremendous physical talent that this young man has.
Here's what I would love, and that was Dan Orlovsky of ESPN. I don't expect it, and it's probably a reach to even ask for it. But boy, would I love to see Drake May not play for a year. I would love it, because it's just going to look bad, and it's not even his fault. I was watching Bill Belichick's full breakdown of Drake May, right? And these are the things that football people, like David Tepper, see that we don't, okay? Because he's been around football his whole life.
I just want to vomit.
Sorry. But somebody like Belichick sees so many things that we don't. And so he's going through May, and he shows some great highlight plays. Individual talent. Strong arm, makes all the throws. Even, kind of freelancing within the offense, has the ability to put the ball accurately where it needs to be, especially deep down the field. But then he goes, why is he bailing on this route? Why is he bailing on this play? Why is he leaving the pocket? He doesn't have to. The pocket's fine. It's like this receiver is open. When he doesn't make a throw, because there's somebody else who he thinks will be more open. And Bill was like, yeah, that's as open as you get in the NFL. That guy's open. You have to deliver the ball. And we have Steve Logan on often to talk about quarterbacks. And Logan talks about the difference between the college game and the NFL game in terms of what the biggest difference is for a quarterback. And in college, he says it's like throwing a football through a tire. And in the NFL, it's like throwing it through a keyhole.
Yeah. Big difference.
Yeah. So my wish for Drake May is that he would be allowed time to learn before he plays, but he was just drafted third. So no time will be given. Unless he gets hurt, no time will be given. And that's the end of it. All right, is this breaking news? Play the breaking news sounder. It doesn't really matter. It's fun to play the breaking news sounder. So, State Representative Marcia Maury, who is a Democrat from Durham, a former Olympic swimmer, will submit a bill to ban college player prop bets in the state. So I do commercials for FanDuel. You do commercials for BetMGM.
Yep.
And there are tons of player prop bets, pro and college.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we saw this at the NFL, at the NBA level, where was it Jonte Porter, who I had never heard of until this, ever heard of him until this.
Dumb move.
Was essentially intentionally going under his own prop bets. My first question is, why are there prop bets on Jonte Porter?
Exactly. Who?
Right. Don't understand that. But they're trying to get those away from college kids because they have been accosted, criticized,
kind of harassed
in pub. Yeah, about why didn't you score more points? I had this.
Yeah,
like I get it, but prop bets are going to exist everywhere. And this is my biggest problem with the people who have the power to shape legislation and create the bad word. These people should know better. These people should get advice from people who know better. If you want to stop anything illegal when it comes to gambling, the solution is not making even part of gambling illegal. The solution is more transparency and allowing the people who stand to benefit the least, meaning the bookmakers, the FanDuels, the BetMGMs, the DraftKings, the ESPN bets, the fanatics of the world.
The Caesars, yeah.
Right. They will police the industry. Let them do it. The more you take things underground, the less chance you have of policing the industry. A year ago, actually more than a year ago now, when the North Carolina General Assembly said no to legalize sports wagering, the dumbest possible reasons were used to vote the bill down. You couldn't have less information if you're going, well, the Dixie Classic, like, shut up. The more stuff is done underneath the surface, the less chance you have of detecting irregularities.
Yeah.
Right? But I understand your heart's in a good place. We want to protect the college athlete from dealing with that stuff. Well, why don't we feel the same thing about the pro athlete? Because they have to deal with it stuff.
Sure.
Like, who was the running back for the Houston Texans a long time ago? It's not that long ago, actually. Who hated fantasy football because he kept hearing from fans on social media about how, I forget his name, about how he wasn't meeting their expectations.
Right.
It's like, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm playing a game.
Right, and hated fantasy football because of that. And I don't blame any professional athlete
at all.
for hating fantasy sports.
Sure.
Right, even though, like, everybody in the Hurricanes locker rooms plays fantasy football. Right.
Well, we know Tony D'Angelo's doing stuff. So.
Tony feels like he's the best player in fantasy football. Anyway, so I get it. Your heart's in the right place, right? But there's nothing you're going to do to stop that from occurring, in Virginia or in South Carolina. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So We just have to trust. You can't trust people. People are. Ooh, I was this close. I was this close.
I'm still ready after Chad LaRose last week. So
started with an A, right? It started with an A. You can't trust people because people are going to be. They're going to show you who they are, right? But you can't ban this. I hope that we just get smarter. Yeah. That's what I hope. I hope that we get smarter. Yeah. But there's nothing you can do to stop this, and because you're not stopping it nationwide. We're not taking prop bets away from the sports books anywhere. So if you do it here, all you're doing is costing yourself. It's just dumb. It's just it's not a good idea. I understand, again, your heart's in the right place because we want to protect the college athlete. I get it. At some point, we're gonna stop pretending that these guys are not professional athletes or playing a professional sport just for a whole lot less money. We have other issues.
Yes.
Seriously, other issues. All right, so that was our entire segment. Evan Cohen from ESPN is going to join us when we come back. I fear he's going to drag us into the North Carolina basketball conversation, but what I really want to talk to Evan Cohen is about is the fact that I believe he was essentially labeled a stalker, a Drake May stalker. He's a big Patriots fan, and now Drake May belongs to him. And we will talk Patriots with Evan Cohen next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Robert in Raleigh, listening on 99.9 The Fan. What's up, Robert?
I got to go leftovers, macaroni and cheese. Michelle, I know you don't eat leftovers. My wife grew up eating leftovers. She'll bake a peach pie from scratch, have one piece, and then it's old. And I've heard you talking about where the best pizza's from. If you've not had Pepe's, Sally's, or Modern Pizza, they're all right there in New Haven, Connecticut.
Yep. Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Adam Gold here from my friend Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK, the Triangle's only LASIK specialist who can take you to 20/20 vision, and it's more affordable than you think. 0% financing for 24 months is available. And in the spring, giving you $1,000 off. That's right, $1,000 off in the spring. All you got to do is call 919-510-6830, 919-510-6830. Travers LASIK. See what you've been missing.
Ram dealer. And now's the time to get great deals on our award-winning lineup of trucks. At Ram, all we do is trucks. Maybe that's why Ram is the most awarded light-duty and heavy-duty truck brand over the last 5 years. Ram trucks feature innovative technology and uncompromised power and dependability that give you the power to strengthen your truck game. Go to ram.com for great deals and hurry in for the best selection of trucks during Ram Truck Month. Based on total full-size pickup awards 2019 to 2023 CYTD, based on standard and available features offered.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or a 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time. It's time to shop sparkling deals. It's Bailey's Fine Jewelry's multi-million-dollar inventory reduction sale.
Going on now.
Shop jewelry up to 60% off. Diamonds, watches, earrings, bracelets, necklaces, and rings are all on sale. The perfect time to shop for Mother's Day, anniversary, or engagement rings without breaking the bank. Shop the largest selection of luxury jewelry for less at Bailey's Big Sale. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
Want to win a trip to the 84th Annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally and a custom Harley-Davidson performance bagger? The Law Tigers are giving away the ultimate trip of a lifetime. Go to stylinginsturgis.com to enter. Prizes include VIP stay at Glencoe Camping Resort, custom Harley-Davidson built by Lane Splitter Garage, sound system by Rockford Fosgate, turbo from Trask Performance, parts from J&P Cycles, firearms from Magnum Research, jewelry from Anvil's Cash, and bikes from Soul E-Bikes. Go to stylinginsturgis.com to enter today.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-353-9900. That's 800-353-9900.
This is Adam Gold.
North Carolinians wagered $659,308,541 on sports.
It's a little bit.
Treat it as entertainment only. Just look at it as fun.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Very appropriate. Victoria producing the program. Our friend from ESPN Radio's Unsportsmanlike. You hear it in the morning on 99.9 The Fan here in Raleigh. Evan Cohen at EvCo Radio joins us. I know you're a proud Patriots fan. Are you? I know you're all in because apparently security needed to be called. That's my understanding. On Drake May, how is it with your new quarterback?
That's not false, what you just said. that is not false. All right, let me explain myself because
Sure.
Adam Fairley had the right setup there. Not that I'm judging, but I mean, well done by you.
Thank you.
All right, so here's what happened. So I think it was last week, must have been Monday, Tuesday, I don't remember when it was, Tuesday of last week, Drake May was on our show. And I said to him specifically that if the Patriots draft you, you need to come on with us the next day. And, you know, he did yeah, sure, whatever. And obviously he's got a million
right
responsibilities when he gets drafted. So we go to the draft. Thursday night, we walk into the draft. We're in downtown Detroit. 275,000 people are there, as you know, Adam.
Yeah.
And I just walk in, and I was with Michelle Smallman and Nuno, our producer. And we just keep walking towards the stage. I'm like, okay, so, like, we're here at the stage. And it never really occurred to me, this doesn't feel like the right location for us. So Caleb Williams gets drafted. He walks off the stage. The first person he interacts with is me, who came up with the big line of, congrats. And he said, thanks. So, you know, he and I are very close now. Jaden Daniels walked off the stage, and he goes the opposite direction because there were Commanders fans there on the opposite side of the stage. Then Drake May, of course, UNC's own, gets drafted. And I said to Nuno and Smalls, I said, all right, I got to go over and, like, kind of say hello, whatever. He comes off the stage. The very first person again is me. I say, hey, you know, you were on with us this week. It was great to have you. Congratulations. Really appreciate you coming on. And I did not want – I sound like LeBron right now. Not one, not two, but three pats on the back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you don't do the three. You do the one. Maybe you get to two, like a, hey, good job. I did three. He smiled. Kept on walking, all right? Wasn't rude to me, just whatever. I think nothing of it, Adam. Then, 2 minutes later, a security guard comes up to me and says, excuse me, sir, you can't be here.
Oh, wow.
And I said, you as in me or like us? And they said, you can't be here. And I said, okay. And they looked at my pass and they said, you cannot be here. And they just removed us from this area. And, like, you know, Smalls and Nuno followed me because they were not going to try to leave me high and dry here. So I can't confirm nor deny that Drake may have gotten me kicked out of the draft. But it is possible Drake May got me kicked out of the draft because when I did the big congrats to Caleb, nothing happened.
Right.
When I did the 3 pats on the back to Drake May, that's when I was bounced. I don't know what you and Victoria think on this. Did I get kicked out by Drake May, yes or no?
It does sound like there's like a 75% chance that is what happened. Also, we have had no mention of Chris Canty here. So either Chris wants no part of you, Michelle, and Nuno, or I think there's 25% that Canty got you kicked out of the draft.
Interesting. Okay. No, I'm going to tell you why. Excellent observation, and that is why Adam Gold is so great. Okay. Here's what. Now, conversely, Canty couldn't get in the draft.
What?
That's not a joke. Canty had family members that he had passes with, and they were trying to get in the draft, and for whatever reason, they had the wrong passes to get in. So if you think about the unsportsmanlike team, okay, on 99, the fan in Raleigh, right?
Right.
What people hear every single morning with us, what happened to us last Thursday is one member couldn't get in the draft and one member got kicked out of the draft. I'm not sure who had the worst night, but we were not necessarily represented well on Thursday night.
Well, first of all, you had the best night because you have a story to tell forever.
That's true.
Forever, you have a story to tell. So it's easy who had the best night. And frankly, you guys, you guys could have been kicked out anyway, right? It might have had nothing to do with Drake May. It might have just, somebody at higher up just thought better of the situation after 3 picks in the draft. Maybe your pass was only good for 3 picks.
That's true. We were not eligible for pick 4. We were only eligible. Marvin Harrison Jr. may have gotten us kicked out. He didn't want the first person to greet him when he got off the stage to be me. I guess that's what we're saying.
You know what?
It was certainly an interesting night.
That's more likely, maybe even than Drake May. Marvin Harrison could have been worried.
I'm not accusing Drake May of actually kicking me out. I'm asking the question whether or not he did.
It is. I think it'll be a 30 for 30. I'm sure coming up in future years from ESPN. Evan Cohen is joining us from Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio. Do you like the pick? Are you excited about the future of Drake May?
Well, you guys know him way more than I do, obviously. What I will say is, yes, I am excited. And the reason that I'm excited is because if everyone tells me how good he is, the concept of maneuvering the draft to move down, to ultimately move back up, to theoretically have drafted J.J. McCarthy doesn't seem as logical and likely as what we just saw with Drake May. Now, why do I say that? Canty, you mentioned him, a guy who played 11 years in the NFL, believes that this guy, Drake May, is much closer to number 1 overall in the draft than he is number 4 overall in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so when he's telling you that, and you can get that value at 3, and you don't have to play him right away because of the fact that you have Jacoby Brissett, NC State product.
Right, absolutely.
Like, I kind of look at it and say, this is a great scenario. I'll give you one other thing, and I'm sure you guys have talked to him, and I know Victoria, to her credit, wanted the Panthers to get him, to wait for this year to get him.
Yep.
But I will tell you, when we had him on last week, Adam, he was as polished as could be. He felt Patriot-like in his answering without saying anything.
Yeah, he's a sharp kid. It's interesting. I wonder if the expansion of NIL and marketing opportunities for these guys, I wonder if they will come to the league even more ready and polished than they would have otherwise. What Caleb Williams has been doing, like Dr. Pepper and like Wendy's commercials for more than a year now. I just wonder if there are some benefits to how college athletes have become such bigger stars now than they were. Here's one thing we did talk about with regarding Drake May, and just because we dealt with it with Bryce Young. He's not going into the greatest situation in terms of the roster. So by you saying that Jacoby Brissett may end up being the starter this year for New England, that would make me feel so much better about May's future, because I wish that the Panthers would have started somebody else for much of the year in place of Bryce Young, just because you can build so many bad habits from running for your life and not being ready for the transition from college to pro, that I would love to see Drake May have the benefit of not playing in year one.
I completely agree with you. It's why I said to you, I want to say the last time that I was on, that I thought the Panthers should have been in the market for Russell Wilson for this year to basically restart the Bryce Young career, as crazy as that sounds. I know that sounds ludicrous to people, but I really believe that. And we have been joking, but I mean, not really, because I believe it, about my quarterback rules on my show, and how I say, and rule number 2, very important for those keeping track at home, on 99.9 The Fan in Raleigh, that draft a quarterback when you want one, not when you need one.
Right.
Now, New England needs one, but having Jacoby Brissett allows you to want one. It's why my favorite pick in the draft is the one that everyone hates.
Mm-hmm.
It's Michael Penix Jr. to the Atlanta Falcons. I love the fact that they drafted a quarterback that they don't have to play until 3 years from now, because more likely than not, when he's ready to play will be 2 or 3 years from now. He'll have the experience, he'll learn, and he'll grow. I think that the problem last year for the Panthers, I totally agree with you. I don't care how bad – it was Andy Dalton last year, right? Was there backup?
Yes.
I don't care how bad Andy Dalton may have been in starting games and how loud the fans would have gotten. I would have started him for at least the first half of the season, barring injury last year, or any backup quarterback, however you want to look at it, because I just do not believe that most rookies are ready to play.
I could not agree more. You know, the other argument, the argument against where we are, and Evan, obviously we're right. The argument is that you have to take advantage of the financial window when you've got a quarterback on that cheap deal for 3 or 4 years, that's your window to build out the rest of your team, except that your quarterback's not that good at that point. And I think we can point to Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love, even Eli Manning sat behind Kurt Warner, and it was not the Kurt Warner that went to the Super Bowl with Arizona or played with the Rams. It was a Kurt Warner who was just kind of okay with the Giants, but he sat behind Warner for the first 5 or 6 games of his rookie season. Phillip Rivers waited 2 years behind Drew Brees to take over with then San Diego. There's too much evidence that waiting helps. And I mean, just look at the track record of quarterbacks that we throw in right away. Trevor Lawrence, we still don't know if Trevor Lawrence is a franchise quarterback. We know he's Jacksonville's quarterback, but I don't think we know if he's a franchise quarterback yet because he hasn't been consistently good enough.
I'll tell you something. I don't mean this to insult you, but you and I think a lot alike on this, so I don't want to insult you too much on this. But rule number 3, quarterback rules. Pay QBs to make wide receivers great. Don't pay wide receivers to make QBs great. Why do I bring that up, Adam, in response to what you just said? I don't care if I have to pay my quarterback $50 or $60 million a year if he's that dude. It doesn't matter how much you pay your quarterback, as long as, rule number 1, you can find a quarterback that can outperform his contract. If I told you ran the Kansas City Chiefs and the salary cap was $200 million, and Patrick Mahomes said, the only way I will play for you moving forward is if you pay me $100 million a year, what would you do? Because if it were me, I'd pay him $100 million a year and would not think twice. I would then say to the other 52 guys, we have $100 million for all of the rest of you. We are going to find a way of making this work, even if it's 52 guys ring chasing or maybe 52 guys taking less money. I don't care, because this sport in many ways, as great as it is kind of dumb. It's only about one position. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a team. You know how many flaws the Chiefs had this year? And they still won the Super Bowl for the second straight year.
Yep.
It's about the one position.
Right. And to piggyback on that, Evan Cohen at EvCo Radio on Twitter, is that I believe that there are only a certain number of those guys that you do pay. And I think once you get below that tier, like, for instance, I'll use Daniel Jones, who played at Duke and had a very good year one with Brian Daboll, not a very good year, and got injured in year two, and they did not replace him. I think eventually they will, is that when you pay I'll just say a serviceable quarterback, right? When you pay that guy great quarterback money, you lose. You lose.
Because he can't outperform that contract.
Right.
It's not that he's bad. Let me tell you, there are two ways that teams win the Super Bowl, okay? And it's all going back to the quarterback and the allocation of funds. You either have a quarterback that's on his rookie contract, or you have a quarterback that's going to be a Hall of Famer. So it doesn't matter what contract he's going to be on, right? It does not matter. If you look at recent Super Bowl winners, Patrick Mahomes, it doesn't matter how much he's getting paid. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at even Matthew Stafford,
absolutely,
that's where he's going, guys. He's going to the Hall of Fame, whether people think he's a Hall of Famer or not. Sure, every so often there's a Nick Foles. Cardinals rookie contract, and he was the quarterback really for that team that year. Well, Tom Brady is a Hall of Famer, the greatest quarterback to ever live. Brock Purdy goes to the Super Bowl on a rookie contract. Two ways, rookie contract or Hall of Fame. And if you're not one of those two, and you'll know in many ways by that second contract, if you're not on the rookie deal or you don't think you have a guy that can go to the Hall of Fame, the resistance is not shown by people in this league to then say, you know what, we don't actually have the guy. We should have drafted a quarterback. We're number two when we wanted one, not when we needed one.
And I'm not paying Daniel Jones $40 million a year to not be the guy. Real quick, I love Michael Penix.
By the way, are you doing that just to get at the boss man, Brian Gruby, to just get at him, knowing he's originally from that area, as a Giants fan, relocated in Carolina, just to annoy him right now? I think that's what you're doing.
Oh, right? No, I'm sure he's sitting in his office going, yeah, speak the gospel, Gold, because he doesn't like him either, I'm sure. Like, Daniel Jones is a wonderful kid, but he's just not a great NFL quarterback. He's not worth paying $40 million a year. I wouldn't pay him $20 million a year either. But the Penix pick, I would have loved even more if they traded back a little bit and made it. If they had traded back, although you run the risk because Michael Penix had really shot up draft boards if those things even happen. Because obviously there were a lot of teams who were interested. The Raiders would have been interested for real at number 13.
13. Yeah, but here's the thing, Adam. So here's my only issue with that. I get what you're saying, right? Because you're talking about value, pick up extra.
Yeah.
To this day, I have no issue with the Chicago Bears trading up to get former UNC quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. Now, people hear that and say, what is wrong with you? Listen to what I'm saying. I have no issue with them trading up to get him. I have an issue with them picking the wrong guy. And so what I mean by that is if the Atlanta Falcons believe that ultimately Michael Penix Jr. is the guy, I don't care if they took him above where other people would take him. You have to be sure that your guy that you're going to get is actually the guy. Where you get in trouble is when you get that wrong. So, like in the case of Trubisky, I love the Bears going up and getting that guy. They just got it wrong. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, and you can get quarterback wrong easily in the NFL, unfortunately.
And you get fired if you do. No
question about it. The sport, college football and pro football might as well be just two different sports. The offenses are so different. Did you catch, before we let you go, did you catch Bill Belichick on the McAfee draft special?
Only clips because I was at the draft, or at least until, Drake May kicked me out. But, I mean, it was awesome from what I've seen.
Yep.
Also, I saw, I may be wrong on this, but I thought I saw something today where he's going to be at the Brady roast for Netflix on May 5th.
Oh,
he's going to be
phenomenal.
one of the people roasting Brady.
Oh, that'll be great.
I can't wait for that.
That'll be phenomenal. Evan Cohen, ESPN, Unsportsmanlike, in the mornings on ESPN Radio, at EVCO Radio. Next time you come on, we'll do our UNC basketball player random draft again. Not again.
I was waiting. I mean, Hendrik Rogel reached out to me and was wondering when we're doing this.
That was my first pick.
Well, jeez.
Henrik Rodel was my guy.
When you need him. Where's Pete Chilcutt when you need him?
He's with Dave Popson.
Kevin Salvadori, hello, on line one.
Oh, Jeff Lebo would like a word, sir.
No, that's too mainstream. You can't. King Rice? Can we go King Rice?
Hey, King Rice, a heck of a... Is he still at Monmouth? Or did he leave and take another gig?
Derek Phelps, Brian
Reese.
Reese,
Brian Reese.
Donald Williams.
That was a very good... Pat Sullivan would like to talk with you. All right, we have to go. You have to go. Evan Cohen.
Enjoy. See you later.
I'll talk to you later. Evan Cohen, ESPN, Unsportsmanlike. We could get carried away there.
I love him.
Oh, he's the best.
He's awesome.
He's great. All right, when we come back, we have more hockey and a surprise for Hurricanes fans. Jeff O'Neill, who at one point was the all-time leading playoff goal scorer for the Carolina Hurricanes. He joins us next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Are you looking for a 2-year hands-on agricultural degree while still gaining the university experience? I'm Lee Ivey, Director of the Agricultural Institute at NC State University. We offer 6 associate's degrees that span the agricultural industry and set our students up to meet their goals. Come live on campus, learn on our farms, and be a part of the NC State community. Learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. Deadline for fall enrollment is June 1st. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
It is playoff time in the NBA and the NHL. Baseball's in full swing, and FanDuel is your home to wager on any game you want. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook, and right now new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you make your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. Anything you want to wager on, slap shots, home runs, slam dunks, all there. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, when you make your first $5 wager. Visit FanDuel.com, promo code AGS to get started. I can't make it any easier. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Charlotte this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games features 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Harris Teeter, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Our public power providers in North Carolina keep the power on 99.9% of the time. That averages out to be less than 1 hour a year without power. Public power line workers who work day and night, rain or shine, are key to that unbeaten reliability. Better reliability, fewer outages, faster restoration. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Hi, Darcy the Cow here for Black Cow, the mature manure. Get a better-looking lawn with Black Cow. Apply to your lawn as top dressing and get 10 times more nutrients than topsoil. Black Cow will feed your lawn, your flower beds, and vegetable gardens for up to 3 months. Oh yeah, everything grows better with sun, water, and Black Cow.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
Need money for college? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, the next NC scholarship could pay for more than half, if not all of your tuition and fees at any NC community college or public university. And it doesn't have to be repaid. We're talking at least $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for a public university and possibly more. Get all the details about the new Next NC Scholarship and see how simple it is to apply at nextncscholarship.org. Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This is Adam Gold.
Please let the coach and GM pick this year.
Right.
And they put this on the sign outside of the restaurant, and I guess David Tepper actually went inside this restaurant.
Do you know that there is security video of that visit?
Wow.
The Adam Gold Show.
Jeff O'Neill, who I believe until Sebastian Aho surpassed you, had the record for Hurricanes playoff goals. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
That's quite an introduction. Thanks for bringing that up, Adam.
Well,
there was a bunch of different ways you could have gone, but you went that way, but I have an appreciation for it.
Second all-time in Hurricanes playoff goals. Look, it took Sebastian Aho like 5+ years to get to you.
You know what? He's gonna challenge all the records. That guy, he's a wonderful player. Just to watch what he does on the ice on a daily basis is he's an incredible talent. And I think that, you know, they're just looking for that. Some of those young guys, Fetch and Natchez, to kind of take that next step in the playoffs. It's been a good start, but that's the ultimate goal. I think we're seeing it here in Toronto, and same's expected there, where it's like, you guys get paid and it's time for big boy hockey, and that's when they want you to do it.
There's no question about it. It was an inartful way of complimenting you on setting the bar high for Sebastian Aho. But I wanted to start with the Maple Leafs because there seems to be some bickering going on, at least judging from bench video that we've seen. What is going on with the Leafs as far as you could tell?
Well, it's not that hard to figure out. They're not winning and they're in trouble. And it's been 8 years of it, so there's some frustration boiling amongst everyone. I'm sure management watching, fans going to the game, and ultimately the players that sit on the bench. So I have no problem with that kind of. That's what happens in pro sports. It's, you know, some man conversations tend to happen, and it's not a big deal. Ultimately, I think that it probably should have happened a long time ago, but it happened last night, and what happens now is, when that does happen in this market, Adam, it really puts everyone under the microscope, where it's like, oh, there's problems. And there's one thing of solving things in pro hockey. It's just get a win. Get a win and quiet things down, and we'll see if they can regroup and do that.
Jeff O'Neill is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. So is it about the Stars? Is it about the Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, who got back in the lineup after dealing with migraines for a few games, John Tavares, or is it about goaltending, or is it about Sheldon Keefe?
You know what? It's kind of an umbrella with all of those things in it. And I think it starts with the star players. I mean, Jim Montgomery said the other day, your big-time players got to make big-time plays in the playoffs, and that's ultimately what you need to have success. And that's true, but if you just look, it goes back to everything, like just roster construction, where if you pay a bunch of guys that money, you notice it in the playoffs. They're so talented that they can steamroll through a regular season, but depth-wise come playoff time, it's like we say every year in the playoffs, oh, the big stars aren't getting it done. It's like, okay, well, where are the second and third line guys that are supposed to chip in with some goals here and there?
Right.
It's got to be that combination. But when you have a top-heavy lineup like that, it just, the depth gets exposed at every position. There's a bunch of teams in the NHL in the playoffs right now where they go out and get a shiny toy like a Pierre-Luc Dubois, Kevin Fiala, guys that can score 25 or 30 goals. And they forget important positions like goaltending. Like the LA Kings, how they thought that goaltending was going to get them anywhere. They had David Riddick in net last night.
Mm-hmm.
He's an NHL player, but he's a career backup goaltender. So I really don't know what they were expecting doing that. So I think a lot of teams, they just get focused on that shiny thing where they got to have it, and ultimately they don't need it, and there's other positions to focus on.
One more quick thing about the Leafs. When they got Game 2 in Boston, there was a sense that, maybe not of accomplishment because you didn't accomplish anything, but you won a game on the road, come back to Toronto, maybe hold serve at home, but it went the other way. Again, we didn't even talk about goaltending. Does Toronto's goaltending, does that pass muster?
Well, it hasn't thus far, and that's the thing. Like, the Boston Bruins have the luxury of not just one great goalie, they got two of them. All these teams are looking for one, and these guys got two, so it's quite a position to be in, and I don't know. And there's only so many goalies to go around. If you look at the elite guys, there's probably, 7 or 8 in the league.
That's it.
But you need a guy to go in there and do the job, and right now, Toronto, it's been average, but you know what? Average gets you in the playoffs, and when you're playing against a team with great goaltending, you got to have somebody step up.
All right, now let's get to, you mentioned 7 or 8 elite goaltenders in the league. I don't know if Freddie Anderson falls into that category. He's been great since he came back from the blood clot. He's been really good, I think, to great in this series. What is your view of Freddie and how far he can take this Carolina Hurricanes team?
You know what? I was thinking about Freddie the other day. We were talking about him before our show started, and it might be one of those things where he's at that age where he's just kind of comfortable and calm, and he's confident in his ability to get things done, where, I don't know, maybe younger, felt the pressure. It takes goaltenders a long time in most cases, but goaltending's a weird thing because I just mentioned Riddick and the guys out in L.A. There's also the hands-down slam dunk Vezina winner struggling for the Winnipeg Jets right now. So it doesn't matter what your label is or what your pedigree is going into the playoffs, as long as you find a groove and find a way to get things done. That's all that matters. So Freddie Anderson has kind of his kind of title or niche of where he's, slots in the NHL as far as where he's regarded. But as long as he steps up and he's the awesome Freddie Anderson come playoff time, nobody's going to care what he is next year. It's all about right now.
And he's been really good. Honestly, he probably saved Carolina.
That's all you want. It's like, okay, whatever's happened during the regular season, Freddie, your health, performance, it's all wiped out the window. And that's for every player. The slate is wiped clean, and let's see what you got. And he's playing pretty darn well.
Yeah, the Hurricanes were dominant in Game 2. Games 1 and Game 3 could have gone either way. Anderson's saves on Noah Dobson in each game gave Carolina the 3-0 lead. I mean, that's just the easiest way to put it, is that his saves on Dobson could have had a great series if both of those are goals, which probably had a 75% chance of those being goals according to XG, and neither were goals because Anderson made spectacular saves. Back to Sebastian Aho, and I'll put the acquisition of Jake Gensel, the way Seth Jarvis has played. This is probably as deep a forward group as Carolina's had since the 2006 Cup run. No?
Yeah. I mean, when you go out and get a guy like Gensel and you get Kuznetsov, which I thought was a fabulous risk, a reclamation project where you're taking a chance saying and hoping that this guy can get his game back and contribute. And I think everybody else, like around the league, like I walk into a building where everyone, all they do is talk about hockey. And the big thing was, substance abuse or whatever program he was in. It's like, I don't know if I would touch that. It's like, sometimes a guy deserves a second chance. And Carolina was smart enough to say it's worth the risk for us, and we hope we can get it together, and he has. But to go and get Gensel, it sends a great message to the team where it's like, a lot of times, Adam, when I was down there, I found it frustrating, almost like we were in a different league because Detroit was loading up, Colorado was loading up, the New York Rangers would trade for this guy. And it was like we would just get like a depth defenseman and just minor stuff. It's like we almost weren't in the game. And it shows everyone that you are in the game and they're serious about winning. So I think it's a great message.
I'm just looking at Jeff O'Neill's timeline on Twitter at odog92. The picture of you and Brett Hedican with the Shiner. Your Shiner had gone away by that point, but or at least it was smaller. That's what it takes, right? Just sacrificing everything to get to this point.
That's what it takes is exactly right. I think that, you look at people's faces that win the cup, they're usually not clean shaven and no bumps and bruises. So there's definitely a price to pay to lift that trophy up. And some of the guys around there know that because, Roddy won it and a bunch of guys that are around there have been a part of it. So that's just kind of the playoff look where if you want to sacrifice and you got to step outside your comfort zone to get it done. It's not all about these kids growing up. It's all they see McDavid and the skill guys and Svechnikov and all the cool stuff they do. You got to do that stuff at certain times when you find the time to strike and do something creative, but you also got to do that other stuff and step outside the zone to help get things done, getting pucks in, getting them out, blocking shots, doing stuff you typically might not do during the regular season.
It's just such a great photograph, man. Finally, just from your perspective, when you guys go on the set at SportsCenter, your view of the Hurricanes and what they can accomplish, and how they might look against the Rangers in the next round.
I honestly think that the sky's the limit. They could get it done. They're obviously going to need Freddie to step up, and they're going to need the Teravainens and the Natcheses who have some cuts. In the past, just from where I sit watching, it looks like they've been pushed to the outside a little bit. So if they can figure out that they got to get their nose dirty and get to the inside and come up big, then they got as good a chance as anybody.
Jeff O'Neill at ODog92 on Twitter. Thanks, man. I appreciate your time. We'll talk again.
Okay, buddy. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
All right. I have to make a correction here.
Okay.
Whatever I saw on which led me that he was the all-time leading goal scorer in Hurricanes history in the playoffs until Aho could not have been more incorrect.
Oh.
I don't know what I saw, but I really thought I saw that. So I will take the 0 here.
Right.
My fault. Because I know there are people going, really? Nah, really? So, yes, no, not close. Aho is and has been, even before this playoff started, the all-time Hurricanes goal scorer. Hurricanes, not Hurricanes Whalers, Hurricanes in the playoffs. He has 25 postseason goals, and that is 6 better than Eric Stahl. Stahl is second with 19. Teuvo Teravainen and Rod Brindamore both are next with 18. Andrei Svechnikov, who doesn't have a goal yet in this postseason, yet has been great, has 13. Ray Whitney and Justin Williams, 12. Also, Jordan Stahl has 12. Seth Jarvis is next with 10. Jeff O'Neill is tied with Corey Stillman with 9. So, I just wanted that corrected because that was grossly inaccurate.
Well, and people will
on
at
my
you.
part. Well, that's fine. I don't mind them
That's
adding
okay,
me.
but yeah.
I will gladly take the 0. And if you wish to hit me up at AGoldFan on Twitter after hearing me take the 0 and want to pile on, feel free. It's deserved. That was way wrong. The more I thought about it, the more like, wait a second. How many goals did he? He was in 3 postseasons with Carolina. 1998, where they bowed out in 6 games to the Bruins. 2001, in which they lost in the first round in 6 games to the Devils. That's the series where Ron Francis got, concussed by Scott Stevens. And then in 2002, where the Hurricanes made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, and he scored, I believe, 8 of his 9 goals in that postseason. And took a puck off the face in Game 3 in Toronto, but came back to score the overtime goal. Took a puck right in the eye.
There were a lot of that yesterday. I don't know if you were watching any of the other hockey games, but
Vlad Nemesnikov took a slap shot to the ear.
Yeah.
Basically. And, or actually, I think it was a fractured cheekbone. They have not ruled him out for Game 5.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
That was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday was...
He did not move.
Ooh, people were dropping like flies.
He went to the ice and did not move. So, yes, there was a lot of that yesterday. But anyway, I just wanted to get that squared away with my stupid Jeff O'Neill stat. Anyway, Jeff's fun. But they're like in the eye of that, let's say storm. I don't have to say hurricane. Because if you saw the Leafs on the bench, not even after the game, like during the game, they could not stop bickering. Yep. They're bickering. They do not know what's going on.
Very unsettled.
Here's the thing. I don't think Boston or Toronto is Stanley Cup championship good. I don't. I don't think they're representing. The East will be represented by either Florida or the winner of Carolina, New York, the Rangers. Those are the three best teams in the East. Boston is not to be trifled with because Boston, if they get a lead, will shut it down. You will not score on them if they get a lead. They remind me in a way of a poor man's Tampa from a couple of years ago. They just knew how to play with a lead. So if they got ahead of you, you are going to have to fight through it. And it's not easy because they do have outstanding goaltending and great team defense.
Yes.
So,
and they will get in your brain.
But yeah, exactly. But I don't think Boston is all that